Indeed. Indeed. 24 hours until we find out the real deal. The real dilly we find out. We find out what's going to go down on Thursday night at Lincoln Financial between the Commanders and the Eagles. We are going to find out. I can't wait. This is going to be an iconic football game. By the way, man, hit that like button. By the way, you guys know it's so important the first 15 minutes of the show for the like button. Like, spread the show around. This is where you guys get to come and go here. By the way, I can't wait. Hey, James Jones, I hope you're in here because I can't wait to see my boy Jaden Daniels on display. I can't wait to see it, man. That guy is a star. That's what you're talking about with a star football players. Hit the like button here. By the way, that is going to be a great football game. We're going to talk a little bit about, let's see here. Nick Sirianni had a presser today. On top of that, we're also going to talk about your coordinator, week 11 of the NFL, and get this, Hurts versus Daniels. Hurts versus Daniels. Head-to-head here. Hey, by the way, before we get going, please hit that like button, guys. Give me your impressions of Zach Ertz. By the way, I want to tell you something, man. Zach's on his way to having a pretty damn good season this year, man. For a guy that was supposed to be out of gas. Hey, Zach Ertz, 63 catches, 650 yards, 2 touchdowns, 10 yards a catch. I'll say this to you, man. You're not going to get that any of your tight ends in Philadelphia. Zach's still bringing it, man. How do you look at Zach Ertz? Are you going to cheer him when he steps on the field? You going to cheer him? I would. He's an all-time legend. By the way, does Zach Ertz one day go into the Eagle Hall of Fame? Okay? Does he go in to the Eagle Hall of Fame when all is said and done? Xander, what do you think, man? Does he get a chance to go in to the Philadelphia Eagles Hall of Fame? Is he a Ring of Honor guy? Is he a Ring of Honor? I mean, dude was one of the best tight ends in pro football. Okay? And you know what I get a sense of? I get a sense of this. I get a sense that Eagle fans love this guy. They absolutely do. They think of this guy and they think a lot of him. So that would be pretty cool to get him into the Eagle Hall of Fame. Playing against him, hey, you know what? It's got to feel like this for Saquon Barkley, the same thing. Dude, he's a giant down deep inside. And he's excelling with the Eagles now, and he's enjoying playing in Philadelphia. It looks like Zach Ertz is enjoying playing with Jaden Daniels and the Washington Commanders. It really does, man. And by the way, I think Zach Ertz has got Philadelphia all over him. I do. It's just funny. There's a Philly guy playing in D.C. now. And I think he probably really loves it that he's a Philadelphia Eagle at heart. I mean, he's going into the Philly Hall of Fame. He's going into the Eagle Hall of Fame. And I think you're going to cheer him, I'm assuming, when he steps onto the field. When you see him. I mean, you saw him last year. I get it. But you're probably going to cheer the guy because he is one of the truly great Eagles of all time. And I think he is an Eagle Hall of Famer as well. Please hit the like button, man. I really do. I think the city of Philly reveres that guy and really absolutely loves that guy. Look at Jeffrey here, man. We really love the guy, man. Okay? I really do, man. I heard through the grapevine that the Cowboys are considering hiring Witten as their head coach. Anything stupid, the Cowboys are in line. By the way, that leads me to this. Mark Holmes is not surrendered yet. Philly 500 is also going to be here with us at 4:30. Xander at 3:30. Hey, just a programming note too. Herm Edwards, who coached Jaden Daniels, will be with us Friday. No time yet, but he'll be with us Friday. He coached him at Arizona State. So we'll get him on Friday. Please hit that like button. By the way, all super chats go to the top as we tell you guys. So please hit that. No question about it. By the way, I think this has got a chance on being something special over the next couple of years here, these two young quarterbacks. I really do. I think they got something special here. I think there could be something really special between Jalen Hurts and Jaden Daniels here. Where is Angelo? Not yet. I only bring Angelo in when significant games. We'll bring him in on Monday. Hey, Nick, when you got a star guest like that, you got to do the David Bowie line to him. You ready? Make him want more. Okay? So Monday, keep it in there. Angelo Cataldi will join us on Monday. So that's your next couple days lined up here too. Going to get Herm Edwards on Friday, Philly 500 and Mark Holmes. I don't know. Hey, Mark, I give it to you, dude. Here you go. I give it to you. I appreciate you coming aboard, man. He'll be here at 4:30. Hey, kill him. Kill him when he gets in here. I think the Dallas Cowboys have absolutely surrendered. By the way, I wrote this number down. This is going to go to Mark Holmes as soon as we see him. Do you know that the Dallas Cowboys paid Dak Prescott $60 million this year in salary, $80 million in a signing bonus? They gave Dak Prescott $140 million this year. Can I put that into perspective for you? Jerry Jones bought the Cowboys for $154 million. And the kid won't finish the year. The kid won't finish the year. They gave him $140 million, $80 million signing bonus, $60 on a salary, $140, and he stunk. Talk about not getting your money's worth. I mean, ultimate disaster in Dallas this year. First thing I'm going to bring that up with Mark. Mark, you paid a guy almost the same money Jerry Jones bought the Dallas Cowboys for. And he's not finishing the year, season-ending surgery, and he stunk even when he was on the field. Wow. Unbelievable. Please hit that like button. You guys are absolutely sensational. All right. Let's do a simple one first. Hurts versus Daniels. I got a really doozy topic for you here, too. How many people think that Jalen Hurts has outplayed Jaden Daniels this year? Let's go to the numbers. Here we go. How many people believe that Hurts has outplayed Daniels? Jalen Hurts is the best quarterback in the league right now. Yeah, okay. 22 touchdowns for Hurts and 5 interceptions. Lenny, I asked the question. Abe, here we go. I'm awake or you? I do. Abe, I do. Hurts is dominating Daniels this game. No, I didn't ask you that, dude. Try to stay focused. Devontae, try to stay focused. Work with me. Do you think that Hurts is outplayed Daniels? Daniels has had to throw it more because his team sucks, right? That's why you're fighting for first place, Senorita. Sure. Daniels is playing better, but coordinators have not adjusted to him yet. We're also going to talk about coordinators here in a second. Absolutely. So let's take a look at the trends. Jaden Daniels is on pace right now for 445 passing attempts. Jalen Hurts is on pace for 444. Pretty good here. Kind of throwing the ball the same amount. Right in the room. That's what they're looking at, especially when you're dual threat. Completions. 306 for Daniels, 310 for Hurts. Right there, both of them. Passing yards. Jaden Daniels, 3,650. Hurts, 3,732. Right there. Touchdown passes. This is where Jalen gets them. But the cool thing is that he has less interceptions. Thank you, Sturdy. Daniels is on pace for 15 touchdowns. Hurts 23. Prolific. Daniels is on pace for 3 interceptions this year. Hurts is on pace for 9. Quarterback rating. 1017 for Daniels. 1034 for Jalen Hurts. Here's the total yardage number. 4,469 yards for Jaden Daniels, who's on pace for 819 rushing yards and 7 touchdowns on 146 carries. Okay? Right? Here is Hurts's 4,446. Jaden Daniels, 4,469. Jalen is on pace for 38 touchdowns, and Jaden Daniels is on pace for 22. And my estimation, okay, in my estimation, Jaden Daniels is having a better season. 800 rushing yards, 7 touchdowns. Hurts is on pace for 200 carries. Wow. This guy's a fucking rookie. He's a rookie. This guy's a rookie and playing at the same level as Jalen Hurts. I mean, dude, this guy has only played 9 ball games. KCA goes, wait a minute here. It's a push. So a rookie quarterback is a push with your guy. Hey, by the way, this guy right here goes like this. Hurts hater. Not a Hurts hater. Pointing out facts. Jaden Daniels is playing just as good as this dude. He's being asked to do more because you know why? He's got less talent around him. As usual. When we have these conversations about Hurts, it always comes back to that. This dude's got lesser talent. He's doing more. Thursday's game will be a true test for Mitchell, with Terry McLaurin only lined up on the left side. If he holds him to under his yardage, does that make him elite? No. Does not make him elite. Means that he has the capability of having elite talent, but we'll see. Talent has to come through and play each and every single game. Let's see him get through his first year. If the Eagles stick to the running game, they should win this game. Washington's weakness is rush defense. Exploit that. The question will be coaching. Absolutely. Absolutely. So let me get back to this here. By the way, please hit the like button. So the quarterback play on Thursday night's a push. Personally, I think Daniels is better and has more skill than Jalen Hurts. All you do is have to just put your eye test to it. Now, does that mean he's going to win? I'll tell you what. You guys bring up this stat all the time. Xander goes like this, and everyone else does the same thing. When the fuck was the last time Washington was decent? Oh, it's been since the late 90s. So this kid walks in there and changes the culture around in 1 year? We're not talking about going to a culture like Philadelphia where the winning has been there for 25 years. This guy went into a place where the owner had made it into a train wreck. And this kid's turned it around. He's turned it around. Like Joe Burrow did in Cincinnati. He turned it around. It's quite a story going on here. Daniels was the Heisman winner. That means shit in the NFL. Name me a Heisman winner. Name me a Heisman winner outside of Roger Staubach and Jim Plunkett that has won a Super Bowl at the quarterback position. Name me other than those two, Plunkett and Staubach, in the history of the league. Name me another one. Okay? That's absolutely true. Joe Burrow transformed the Cincinnati Bengals. That's right, man. Heisman trophies don't mean shit in the NFL. How many guys have won the MVP at quarterback that have won the Heisman? Cam, Staubach, I can't think of another one that has won an MVP award. Okay? Oh, Lamar. There you go. Nice, Drew. Nice, Lamar. Way to go. Lamar Jackson. Absolutely. Richard goes, who cares? We'll find out tomorrow. No shit, dickhead. Hit the like button here, guys. Appreciate you guys coming aboard here, man. Thank you so much. All right. Now, this is the topic and why I brought this up. Do we all agree you're pretty shocked with the way this kid, Jaden Daniels, has played, right? You're pretty shocked, right? Right? Okay? Look at Dick Train. I don't even know what the fuck he's talking about. This guy's a dumbass. Honestly, man, if there's a guy in here that we're going to give the award to at the end of the year, we're going to do an award show here. For our show here, we're going to have an award show, Xander. And Dickhead or A-Train or Dick Train, you're the candidate for the worst takes of the fucking day. Every day, you are the candidate for the worst. There's going to be the best, and then there's going to be the worst. So we'll figure it out. But you're the lead candidate right now for being the worst take guy that comes on the show on a daily basis. Holy shit, man. You're the lead candidate. I mean, Dickhead, Dick Train. This guy, I mean, dude, somebody's going to have to really pull up their A game. Like A-Track here to beat this guy when it comes to being the worst take guy in the history of the National Football Show. This guy right here, fucking dopey. Absolutely true. Just dopey. I'm awake, are you? You're kind of in the top 5 too. I'm the worst take guys there is. We're going to have an award show. And you know what we're going to do, Xander? We're going to put it to the people, and we're going to put a poll up. Who's the best take guy and who's the worst? That'll be the year-end award show. Martin Perez, he's in the top 5 for some of the shittiest takes on the planet as well. This guy's dopey as hell, too. I'll tell you this, Sills, Daniels would not be able to fit in an organization due with Howie and Laurie being in the way. Yes, true, Martin. The way that the Eagles run the organization, absolutely. That kid may have struggles here. So this goes to the topic here. Okay? Hey, I like that. The winner gets a Ryan Leaf jersey. No, I think the winner's going to get a Bryce Huff jersey. It's got to be out of Dick Train, Loose Jaws, or C24 for the fucking worst takes in the history of the National Football Show. I can't wait for that award show. I've been thinking this thing up. We're going to have the best and the shittiest. Believe me, LJ will be in that thing too, man, when it comes to the worst takes of all time. And really, and then we're also going to have a category, the biggest fucking stalker. LJ's the slam dunk guy so far. All right. So let me say this to you. I learned something from Joe Theismann yesterday. Okay, I learned something from Joe Theismann. By the way, please, all super chats go to the top. Sills, would you rather have Sills, who would have thought that the Commanders versus the Eagles would resurge as this interesting or a rivalry, but still It lasts because dual threat. You know what? I got to say that to you too, Samuel, that you know what? You got two dual threat quarterbacks going after one another Thursday night. And this could be an opportunity for a really great rivalry. Absolutely could be. Okay? All right. I'm going to make a proclamation here. You tell me if you buy it or not. Let me see what the poll question was. Hey, and Dick Train, a poll question is not you sitting on something. A poll question is something you ask and you put it out there for people to vote on. Just keeping it so he understands that, because you never know with Dick Train. He might try sitting on it, you know? The poll, okay? We took a poll and we did it at the we did it at Big Sil's, the Dan Sileo show. So here we go here. Let's see where we are. Okay, I asked this question and I want to get, all right. Closer than I thought. So we're going to make a proclamation here. I think you hired the wrong coordinator. I think you hired the wrong offensive coordinator for Jalen Hurts. Has Kellen Moore improved the passing game? Kind of. You're 20th. Shane Daniels is 4th in the league or 3rd in the league. They've improved the passing game in Washington with a rookie. It's not false. You're 20th. Oh, we're pulling guys with the whatever. That means you played, and that goes to the point. You've played nobodies. So most of it is just absolute hollow stats. At the end of the day, has Kellen Moore improved the passing game? No, he hasn't. Washington and Cliff Kingsbury, he was the hire. You even heard Nick Sirianni today making comments about the coaching and what Daniels is getting with Kingsbury and Brian Johnson. Yo, Sills, if the Eagles win the next 3 games, rematch at 57, what's that? The Patriots were in that thing. I mean, you really think that Kellen Moore has done a better job with Jalen Hurts at quarterback? They run the ball more. They're not throwing the ball more. They're running it more. Eagles, Chiefs, my bad. You're right. My bad. Eagles, Chiefs could be. Eagles, Chiefs. Thank you, Xander. You run the ball more. You're back to running. You're a running team now. You're not a passing team. You're not a passing team. Okay? You're a defensive run team. You're not a passing team. So the passing game hasn't been improved. A little bit. That's because he's throwing it less. They're throwing it with a rookie as much as they're throwing it in Philly with a rookie. And he's playing the same kind of ball. How about this? Jaden Daniels is playing the equivalent, if not better, football than Jalen Hurts right now because he's done it for 9 weeks. That's because the coordinator is what Joe Theismann said yesterday. Finding the right coordinator and fitting the right skill set. Kellen Moore's never coached this guy. Hey, Kellen Moore's going through also learning how to deal with dual threat quarterbacks. He's never had one in his entire coaching career. He was never one himself. He's a drop back guy. What would he fucking know about dual threat guys? Kingsbury's coach, Kyler Murray, Patrick Mahomes, Caleb Williams, now Jaden Daniels. That's a fit. He's coached that style of quarterback his entire coaching career. This is Kellen's first time coaching that style. And by the way, once they realized they couldn't get it done like the first 4, they went back to running the ball. In my opinion, Cliff Kingsbury was the initial hire anyway. You offered him a 3-year contract, but he wasn't going to be given the autonomy that he wanted when hiring coaches, so he went to Washington. He was the first choice. Kellen was the second choice. Always remember that. You see, M. Reyes won't tell you this, but Kingsbury was the first choice. Cliff was the first choice of hire in Philly. You got the second dude. So let me guess, your favorite dessert is cherry pie. Whatever, guy. He didn't want Stoutland. I've heard this. Okay? I have. A good quarterback play in any system. A good quarterback should be able to play in any system. So you think that Joe Burrow or Tom Brady, get this, listen to how ridiculous this take is. So, Jeff, you think that Tom Brady could play in the Philadelphia Eagle passing system in an RPO, and you're going to run Tom Brady in RPOs? And you're going to run him 14, 15 times a game? You truly think that? The coordinator has to fit the quarterback skill. You don't put a quarterback to fit a coordinator's skill. The coordinator has to be the right guy that knows what he's doing with the proper skill set of his players. You have to have a proper coach to know what he's doing that has coached that style of play. Kellen Moore's never coached that style of play in his entire coaching career. They've never had that. I mean, facts. Sills, you've always been a Kingsbury fan. Moore's been okay. He can only feed Hurts so much. Hurts is still learning. He is. First year for him without Kelsey. How about this? Let me say this to you, though. I think that kid's really gravitating to Cliff Kingsbury in Washington, D.C., don't you think, though, Sam? Still holding the ball too long. That's something that will never get away from him. He's not good at reading defenses. See, people like Xander and other people think he's going to get better at that. Not holding onto the ball too long, that's not going to get better. That's what he is. He's not going to be able to all of a sudden process the information in year 5. That doesn't mean he won't be able to throw and identify landmarks when it comes to pre-snap reads. Where he's going to get better is knowing pre-snap reads. Because remember something, this guy doesn't lead receivers. He throws the spots. Why is that? Because he can't read defenses. Is he getting better? A little. I wouldn't say a lot. Anytime you get 5 sacks in a fucking half, you're not reading defenses well. You're holding onto the ball too long. And get this. People are trying to tell me that he played well in that game against Dallas. He played nice in the second half. Yeah. I thought he did everything fundamentally wrong that an elite quarterback does. Hold the ball too long, late throws, turnovers. The 3 cardinal sins. But you want to hide from that. Okay? So what do? They go back to running the ball, which they should, because that's what he does the best. Dropping back and throwing the ball like Daniels can, he can't do that like that on a consistent basis. And I disagree with Xander, who will be with us, by the way, at 3:30, who I disagree. You know, you get a performance like that in the Super Bowl a couple of years ago in 57, right? Then you turn around and you have a performance like you did against Baker Mayfield last year. That's who he's going to be. He's going to be up and down like that his entire career. He's not going to be hanging around the rim at AFC title games or NFC title games. He's just not. Seals, do you think Kellen's doing a good job adjusting? Yeah, I think that's a really great question now, because now it goes back onto the coordinator. Do I think Kellen is doing a better job in the last 5 games dealing with what the skill set is of Jalen Hurts? Yeah, I do. I think, can I tell you this? I would make this comment. And you guys, I'll tell you what, you can agree or disagree on this one. You tell me, okay? I think that Kellen Moore has gotten better understanding Jalen Hurts since the bye, not vice versa. Is that fair? That Kellen is getting better, right? Kellen's getting better understanding what he's looking at here now. Communicating, right? I mean, Tony, Jalen has come along. Jalen has come along because Kellen is going, okay, well, this is what this kid can do, and this is what he can't do. This is what he does exceptionally. I'll tell you one thing, and I will say this to you. How about this, Alex? I'll give you this too, Alex. How about this one? When it's 3rd and 11, now in 2022, and I know that quarterback is going to take off running, man, if I'm a defensive lineman or if I'm a linebacker and I'm an edge rusher, that guy's going to break my ass, man. I've got to make sure I keep that guy freaking contained, because if that guy is not contained, he's picking it up. He has a better chance of picking third downs up with his wheels than he does his arm. Okay? But I'm a proponent at running the ball. I'm telling you one more time. Pass-happy offenses drive me nuts. Okay? And the ones that you find, and the great ones that you find. Hey, did I miss a super chat? Let me get this one. He told reporters at the Pro Bowl that he hates the short passes and that he's always looking for the deep throw. Throws unnecessary interceptions. I'll tell you this, Lord's Grace. Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady didn't win Super Bowls with deep passes. They won with checkdowns. Xander, did I miss a super chat? We see after the book is out on Daniels next year. Okay? Well, I know who Hurts is. Hurts' ceiling is 22. He doesn't have a higher ceiling than that. This is who he is. Guys, it's year 6 or 5 now, whatever it is. Fucking this is who he is. I mean, someone goes like this. He says, well, look at Baker Mayfield. He had like 40 starts in Cleveland. Look at how he's playing now in Tampa. Look how good he's playing in Tampa. I didn't say better coaching is not going to put him in a better position. Having also great wide receivers like Chris Godwin and Mike Evans is not going to help the guy. He had pretty good wideouts when he was in Cleveland too. He did. He had pretty good wideouts there. I mean, Odell Beckham was still Odell Beckham when he was in Cleveland. Had a good run game. He had all that, but he couldn't figure it out. Now he's got an organization and he's figuring it out. Plus he's got a little humility. Okay? Gatekeeper goes like this. That's a great ceiling to have. Okay. You're comfortable with that? I mean, like I told you, though, you know, Xander brought something up, and I thought about it last night. Sills, did you see how great he played in 22 in the Super Bowl? Yeah. But his swings are too high. I saw, hey, get this. So wait a minute. You got a quarterback that played that well in the Super Bowl against Patrick Mahomes against the Chiefs, and then you had that same quarterback turn around and play like shit against Mayfield last year. That is really high peaks and valleys. I mean, we're talking about exceptional high peaks and valleys there, don't you think? Hit the like button here, guys. Right? I mean, and get this. Patrick Mahomes' worst year in pro football. Let me bring a point up to you with what you guys are constantly bringing up. And there's guys that are going like this. Look at all the interceptions and turnovers that Mahomes has this year in 2000. I can't wait for this game tomorrow night. I really can't. I think it's going to be an exceptional football game. I really do. Here we go. Teams. All right. I want to show you something here about what you're looking at with Mahomes this season this year. No question, Patrick Mahomes, this is not one of his better years that he's had at quarterback here. I still think he's going to throw for a ton of yards this season. But here's Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes this season is on pace for 4,171 yards, 23 touchdowns, and 17 picks with a 90 quarterback rating. Throwing the ball 587, almost 590 times, which will be roughly around 150 times more than what Hurts and Daniels will throw this year, okay? Figure this out here. His worst season that he's having in the last 7 years, he's 9-0. And by the way, look, you guys keep telling me, well, you know, Mahomes has Travis Kelce. Okay, that's fair enough. Travis Kelce's a heck of a football player. Travis Kelce's on pace for 800 yards this year. I wouldn't consider that elite any longer. And his top wide receiver is on, and that's him. Do you understand that Rashee Rice, who is on pace right now, how is this possible? He's on pace for 500 yards. Kelce's on pace for 890 yards. Kareem Hunt is on pace for, Kareem Hunt has really picked his game up here. Believe it or not, Kareem Hunt's on pace for 1,200 rushing yards, which is freaking unbelievable since he's been sitting on the bench and nobody signed him, and now he's on pace for 1,200 yards. But in the passing game, Patrick Mahomes won't have a 1,000-yard receiver. He'll have very limited skill set guys. And Hunt's giving him play action, and he's having his worst year, and he's 9-0. That's a quarterback. His worst year is almost every other quarterback's best year because he's winning. Because they're winning. And they're a good defensive football team now. Please hit the like button, guys. I appreciate you guys. By the way, I'll say it one more time to you. Let's see here. If the Eagles can keep Kellen, they won't. Kellen could add more of his concepts and improve Jalen Hurts. If he doesn't get a head coaching job, yes. Xander, did I miss a super chat? By the way, all super chats go to the top, as we always say, guys. Don't forget how bad that left tackle in Kansas City. No quarterback can win it all if no one blocks well. Kansas City needs help at LT. I think Orlando Brown you're talking about, if I'm not mistaken. Is it still him or is it someone else? Sills, Washington has issues in the red zone. They do. Isn't it the coaching and organization's job to help coach players? Yes. In the NFL, for sure. Close to their ceiling. And players' jobs to push their deficiencies to improve their ceiling. So Hurts can't get better in that sense. Dude, if a guy has a certain skill set and he's limited, he's not going to improve. Like Tom Brady's not going to improve being a better runner in a game. That's not what it's going to be. Tom Brady, as great as Tom Brady worked on his strengths. Okay? He didn't work on his weaknesses. You know what his weakness was? Running. Same with Peyton Manning. Those guys didn't work on running. They worked on moving more in the pocket, creating passing lanes, figuring out that those efficiencies that I can't run like Hurts and Lamar, what do you do like Ben? Ben Roethlisberger did it. You slid more in the pocket. You created passing lanes because you knew you didn't have that skill set. See, that lies the difference here. Now, someone goes like this. Well, Sills, that's not a physical deficiency, is it? Reading defenses. I think it is. I think it's process. I think certain guys process the information faster than others. I'll give you an example. I always thought one of the major problems that Vinny Testaverde had, who threw for 50,000 yards in the NFL, I always thought the problem he had, he floated back to his to his drop. And by the way, I don't think Hurts has the greatest feet on the planet as a quarterback. And I think Vinny struggled in processing the intel when he got back to his 7-step because he was so late getting back there. You want to know one of the reasons why also Jalen Hurts holds on to the ball long? Because he takes fucking forever to get back in his 7-step. And because of his height, he has to move around a little more in there. They should be dropping him, in my opinion, at least 9 steps. Give him a chance like Breeze and what Russell Wilson did to compensate for that. That's kind of what I'm talking about. Kellen Moore's a good coordinator with drop back guys. That's all he's ever coached. Dak and Justin Herbert are not prolific running quarterbacks. They're just not. I think Daniels is getting better coaching. And by the way, I think it also helps that you have on the other side, I think it's great that you have Dan Quinn. Now, I think Jalen Hurts, in my opinion, I think he gets a lot from Vic going up and asking questions. Hey, Vic, what do you see here, man? What? I would ask Vic Fangio, if I was a quarterback on that team, no matter who it is, I'd ask Vic, hey, Vic, when you're in high 2 like that, and you do one of those switch defensive banjo coverages or post snap, you go to your true coverage. I mean, is there a landmark that I can land on, that I can see there's something that can tip that off? Vic probably gives him tips. I would ask, if I had one of the better coordinators in the NFL on my staff and I was Jalen Hurts, I'd go right over to him. Hey, when you're in that high two, is there a tip-off back there that post-snap that you guys go to your true read and your true coverage that you're trying to do? Okay? Yeah. My coaching staff brought one thing back. I didn't think no coach could do, and that bring Redskins football back to life. They've totally brought, I think the owner, believe it or not, and I'm not a Josh Harris guy, I think the owner hired the right people. I love your general manager. I love your head coach. I love your quarterback coach. I love your offensive coordinator. I like what they're doing there. I love Bobby Wagner. Bobby Wagner is one of my favorite football players in the NFL, and he has been for the last decade. And that guy has brought some juice to that Redskins defense. By the way, I'm fucking done calling them the Commanders. We're not doing that any longer. I'm not playing that bullshit any longer. I'm not doing it. You talking Vic Fangio or Jaden and Cliff? I'm not sure what you're meaning here. I'm talking Vic Fangio and Jalen talking a little bit more. And I think that Jaden and Cliff have really hit it off. I think they're doing, I really do. Hey, by the way, yeah, I'm sick of that. Now that America has spoken, I'm not fucking calling them the Commanders anymore. I'm done with it. I'm calling them the Redskins from now on, this day forward. Not doing it. Not playing the politically woke game anymore. Taking Columbus statues down, taking pictures down. Hey, man, it's what it is. It's history. Like it or leave it. I don't care. Okay? I don't care. Okay? Now, if you want to do that, that's okay with me too. Okay? They said they got manipulated on agreeing to change the name. They want it back. They should want it back because that's their history. Hey, look, Dallas Cowboys versus the Washington Commanders. It sucks. Branding too. Still, Washington's run defense, it is weak, Philly. That's where you're going to kill them. And if I'm James Jones, I would sit there and say this, okay? Run the ball, dude. And Jalen Hurts run the ball. And Saquon Barkley, I'll tell you this. Hey, James Jones, if they run the ball 42 times in this football game against Washington, they're going to beat you good. They're going to beat you good because they run the ball exceptionally well. That's what and who they are. And that quarterback is a bitch on 3rd and long. I mean, he's better on 3rd and long than he is almost 3rd and short. I'll tell you this, Jay, one thing about Jalen Hurts, that dude can run in open space. He is a good runner in open space. Okay? He is. I'll tell you something, too. I would make this point to you. Michael Vick had more talent than Jalen Hurts. Hurts is a better quarterback than him. And I don't think it's close. And I love Vick. I'm a big Michael Vick fan. But he's not a better quarterback than Jalen Hurts. And you guys can hold that receipt. And if I ever go back on that, remind me. I just don't think he's a better quarterback. Now, again, he's a better athlete. Vic's one of the greatest athletes ever to play the quarterback position. But personally, I think Jalen does a better job at reading defenses than Vic ever did. Now, Vic got it late in his career because of the lack of coaching Dan Reeves gave him in Atlanta. His skill set and running is insane. He's a better runner than Jalen. But the overall package, Jalen's probably better. Now, again, Jalen Hurts benefits from having sensational players around him. But, hey, that's the luck of the draft. You know, when people always, and including me, when I bring that up, that Jalen Hurts has better talent around him, that's the luck of the draft. I got drafted to the Eagles, and the Eagles like to put good players on a roster. Sue me. You go to certain places, they don't put players on rosters or they overpay them. The problem with the Cowboys is here's the biggest problem that you have with the Cowboys. The Cowboys draft a decent player, and they think he's a sensational player, and he's not. Like Michael Parsons, I would trade that fucker in 5 seconds. See how many people would bite on that. Let the guy get humbled. Maybe he goes somewhere else and he turns out to be the player John McMullen thinks he is. I don't think he's a great player for one reason, because he doesn't want to do one part of his job. He doesn't want to play the run. He wants to get TFLs and he wants to get sacks. Well, there's a run part of that too component. And do you notice this? The teams that are physical with Dallas, like Philadelphia, Arizona, they kill him. Look at what Buffalo did to him. They kill him. Physical teams will always beat that Cowboy team. And who would have thought that? The one thing that Jimmy Johnson had with his Cowboy teams that were sensational compared to the shit that you see now is they were physical. They beat people up. Evan Smith was the real deal. That old line was the real deal. And I'll make this point one more time to you guys. Do I think the Philadelphia Eagle full intact O-line is better than the Cowboys O-line of the Emmitt Smith era? I think your tackles are better. Lane Johnson and Mulata. Eric Williams, Mark Tuney. I'll take the Philly O-line at tackle. Your guards, Nate and Giesick. Wait, Nate and Eric Allen, or Eric. Who am I thinking of? The guy who just died. No way. They got the guards. The center with Kelsey and Stepnoski. Kelsey probably. Okay? Kelsey. It's close, though. Larry Allen, thank you. Philly 4 for 4. Here, let me do that one more time. Is the Philadelphia Eagle O-line, and I'm going to use last year's O-line because Cam's new to it. The Cowboy O-line that was sensational. Eric Williams, who's underrated. Mark Tuney. Larry Allen, one of the greatest linemen of all time. And Nate. Nate should be in the Hall of Fame. And then Stepnoski. Versus Mulata and Lane, Kelsey, Dickerson, and Becton. Who would I take? Left tackle. I'm going to take Eric Williams. I'll change that. I'm going Eric Williams. Right guard or left guard, I'm taking Larry Allen over Landon Dickerson. Center, Stepnoski, Kelsey. I'll take Kelsey. Nate over Becton. I'll take Nate. Lane over Martune. I'll take Lane. It's 3-3. And the other pieces are compatible. Landon Dickerson's not going to kill you. He's no Larry Allen, though. Becton's not Nate. So Dallas was probably stronger up the middle. Besides the center position with Kelsey. Cowboys had better guards. Larry Allen and Nate Newton versus Becton and Dickerson. And, of course, the running back. Saquon or Emmett, there's no conversation there, man. Don't be dumb. Don't be dumb. Nobody on the planet thinks that Saquon Barkley's a better runner than Emmitt Smith. Nobody. Okay? Big Picking goes, Dallas was together longer. Yeah, because even before Jimmy got there, they were with Tom Landry too. Yes. Yes. I never thought how close that was, though. That's pretty close, though, man. That's the best offensive line I've seen in a long time, probably since the Steeler O-line back in the day when he had Franco. But the Cowboy line was probably the second best or first best line I've seen. AJ or Michael Irvin. I'm not going to debate that either. AJ Brown has nowhere near anything Michael Irvin ever did. Not even remotely close. The 22 O-line, is Nate as good as Isaac Seumalo? No. Larry Allen, you can't beat that position. Eric Williams is underrated. He should be in the Hall of Fame. But you have Lane. And by the way, I think Malata's not far off of Eric Williams. Okay? Here, look at this guy. Saquon's better. So I'll give you guys one more and one last time a history lesson. When Emmitt Smith was in high school, he ran for 12,000 rushing yards. When Emmitt Smith was at Florida, he ran for 4,000 in 3 years at Florida. When Emmitt Smith got to the NFL, he ran for 19,000 yards. I don't know what you're fucking talking about. I have no idea. And when he got to Dallas, he transformed that O-line into being one of the greatest O-lines of all time. I mean, you're talking about a guy with 19,000 rushing yards. I mean, Saquon Barkley won't finish in the top 50. I mean, Emmett, get this. You know what's crazy? When this guy Kyle says this, I'm going to show you this. When he first got there, Emmett, and I brought this up to you before, your argument that you're going to try to make that Saquon Barkley is as good as Emmitt Smith is fucking hilarious. So Kevin Gogan, the tackles were there. I mean, Nate was signed by Tom Landry. Rafferty was there. He was signed by Tom Landry. Crawford Kerr was the other guard, signed by Tom Landry. The other tackle on the other side of Tune was signed by Tom. All of them were Tom Landry guys. And a year before that, they had 4 wins. Emmett shows up. They go on to win the Super Bowl 3 and 4 years. Emmett turned that O-line into great football players. That's what he did. Okay? Emmett's the best ever, but I like Brown over Irvin. Akbar thinks that A.J. Brown's a better player than Michael Irvin. Well, here. What do you think Michael Irvin would do in a game today where you couldn't be physical with him and you couldn't touch him? Pass interference was not it's a thing every play. He's not close. He's not close. Playmaker has 3 Super Bowl rings. Wasn't that Troy Aikman was some great running or wide throwing quarterback? Troy Aikman's probably not in the top 30 in passing yards. Michael Irvin's one of the greatest players of all time at that position. Okay? Emmett is one of the top 10 running backs of all times. I'm not talking about stats. Dude, I'm talking about the guy's career. Every level he's ever played at, Emmitt Smith was sensational at every level. Every level, he was sensational. All right. So again, circling back, the coordinator. Okay? The coordinator here. I look at it like this, man. I mean, end of the day, I think Kingsbury would have been better for Jalen Hurts. Personally, get this. Jaden Daniels is going to find out a little bit, in my opinion, what Jalen Hurts is going through. Because if that guy wins the Rookie of the Year award and Washington is a playoff contender, Cliff Kingsbury is going to get an opportunity to be a head football coach. Hey, what am I trolling you at? I don't even know what the fuck that word means. What do you think I'm upsetting? What is so upsetting you with? That Emmitt Smith's a better player than Saquon Barkley? And he's the all-time leading rusher in pro football history? Is that really trolling? I didn't think I was saying something that was a reach. I mean, I didn't think I said anything that was crazy. Michael Irvin is an elite player. Elite players know how no other elite players, and he says Jalen is elite. I don't remember that. Hey, I don't remember that. Okay? Here's another fabulous dick train. Sills is a fake Italian. He's Mexican. Dick Train is a fake dickhead. He's a you-know-what. I like Chris Johnson. He was a really good player. Every time I see Dick Train, I see this now. Sorry, so. Oh, man. Shit. Xander's going to join us at 3:30. Battle Royale is back. That'll be. Hey, Dick Train. You should put that as your emoji, dude. Look good on you. I'm going to start calling Dick Train Racing Stripe. Oh, my God. Oh, man. All right. We got to get into what Nick Sirianni said today. Your head football coach. I like Nicky. He's good, man. Nick's presser today was fairly decent. They didn't put hey, you know what I'm liking a little bit more with what they're doing with Nick now versus before? This dude gets 10 minutes now. Big Sills, you're getting him fired up again today. Jalen's is better, but Daniels is solid. I can't lie. You could say we're the best defense he's faced so far. Oh, yeah. Yes. No, you're not better than Pittsburgh. No, you're not. Thanks for the super chat, though. But Christopher, your defense is not better than Pittsburgh. You're not better than Pittsburgh. You give a fuck what your stats say. You're not better than Pittsburgh. Okay? You play 5 shitty teams and go, we're better than Pittsburgh on defense? I don't think so. You don't have a pack. Dude, Hightower and TJ Watt alone destroy your edge rushers. Okay? Your secondary? No, I don't know that yet. We're looking, dude, you guys have played teams that are at the equivalent of 9 and 28 in the last 5 weeks. Give me a break. Hang in there. Let's find out tomorrow. Dude, you do a good job tomorrow. I'm going to give you, hey, watch this. I promise you, if you do a good job tomorrow, that will be the first Crow Day in the National Football League's history. Okay? That will be the very first Crow Day in National Football League history or National Football Show history. Okay? If Sills is Mexican, Howie is for sure calling ICE, trying to get him deported. Hey, man, come on now. Hey, Mexicans and Italians, I'm all right with that one. I like Mexican folks. I like Cuban folks, too. Did you miss the part where I asked if it was better, you silly man? No, I didn't miss that part. Let's see. No, you won't. Yes, I will. I'm telling you right now. If your boy outplays my guy and they look better, I'm going to give you a ton of credit. Okay? Tomorrow could have, hey, I'm laying it out there. I'm putting the bullseye out. But I may have to move Angelo to Friday. Get this. You guys are calling me a liar now? Bullshit, you won't. Who you picking tomorrow? I'm not there yet. You're full of crow, Sileo. Eat a dick. Hey, get this. Wait a minute here. Who's Pittsburgh played? Team you lost to. Simple. Team you lost to. He just walked right into that mousetrap. Hey, he just walked right into that one, man. Holy shit. You got the wrong coordinator. That's all right. You got the wrong coordinator. I'm giving you guys something that never has been done before in my 30 years of radio and broadcasting. I'm giving you a Big Sills Crow moment. If it happens. And I don't think it is. Well, we'll see. Sills going to move the goalpost again. I am not. I am not going to move the goalpost. Pittsburgh lost to Dallas since we're doing that. All right. That's why it doesn't matter. You don't have a better defense than Pittsburgh. You don't have. You think? Hey, how about this one? You think you're better pass rushers than Pittsburgh? Look at our stats. I know. Look at the shit teams you played. Hey, I love it when I hear Xander and everyone going like this. Well, you know, Jalen doesn't have all the numbers because they're pulling guys out. What is this? What are you talking about here? College football? You're pulling guys in the third quarter like Georgia? I mean, you know, right? Point differential in the NFL is 3 points, and you guys are pulling 3 of the 4 games that you've played in the last 4. You guys are like pulling players like you play in the SEC. Hey, Dick Train, look at this one. Dan Sileo's a liar. Your mom doesn't think so. Let's see. Okay. Bond is playing better than Queen. So you're trying to tell me you think Zach Bond's a better football player than Patrick Queen? Is that right? You think Zach Bond is a better player than Patrick Queen? All super chats go to the top here. No holds. Lindbergh cheese defense holds Daniels under 100. Boom, mic drop. Hey, Dak, do me a favor. Fix your coulions, or was it a hamstring? I forgot. You pulled your cannoli? What is it here? What was it, man? Look at this. So wait a minute here. Look at this guy. Forrest goes, PFF, check Bond versus Queen. Zach Bond is, hey, so Patrick Queen makes $18.5 right now. Signed a 3-year contract. He's considered one of the best inside linebackers in pro football. And Bond, right now, who's playing really good ball, you think is better than him. Oh, my God. Dude, I enjoy my life talking to some of you guys every day. I won't lie. I do. I enjoy myself, man. A lot of fun. Lot of fun, man. Okay. Queen has equity. We mean being a great player? And Bond doesn't? Yeah, okay. That's how the league works. Okay. Never seen an elite quarterback get outplayed by the same exact blitz without recognizing it unless you're calling him an elite runner. Hey, John, don't talk like that to these guys. Thanks for the super chat. Don't do that. Elite. Oh, man. Shit, get this. Sills will be deported in a couple months, man. Yeah, guess why? Because Howie's going to call the Italian ice guys. Come get me. You know the Italian ice you get in South Philly? Right, Xander? He's going to call the Italian ice guys to come get Big Sills. It's Dan Sileo. Hey, get this. I had a guy call the NAACP on me because I said Jalen Hurts is an elite. Hey, it's better than Michelle Beadle dropping the N-bomb. Oh, you know what I meant. I meant nuggets. Okay. Yeah. Well, I could say this with a straight face. That broad thinks it's funny. I didn't. Okay. Michelle Beadle dropping the N-word. You know what I mean. Oh, I tried that too. You know what I meant. I didn't mean anything. It was a friend of mine, actually. When I said monkey, oh, I didn't know. Hey, it was something stupid. I didn't mean to drop the N-word. I posted it on Twitter too, and guess what? You saw all the wolves from the media people defending her. Stupid bitch. Dropping an N-bomb on a FanDuel show? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Are you out of your mind? You had 2 African-American basketball players sitting on that thing too. No heat for that? Oh, okay. Okay. Pick and choose. Pick and choose. Hey, Sills, if Bond was next to Roquan Smith, he'd be getting paid $18 million a year too. Okay, sure. Okay. You know, you guys that come here every day know Big Sills here. You know, we're furthest from racist. And, you know, I made a mistake years and years ago. People call me that, though, if you go all over social media, they think that I'm some sort of like David Duke dude. This chick drops the M-bomb, and it's cool. Oh, okay. That's why I love this show. She's a dumb bitch. Dropping M-bombs on a FanDuel show, basketball? What's wrong with you? Unacceptable. 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 And I'd have yanked her off the desk that moment. I'd have yanked her off that desk. Okay? Still says it frequently around his family. Yeah, probably when Michael has dinner over my house, or my dad or my grandpa, I mean. Probably right. We use that word. We don't use that word. I get too many friends that would expect me to not make sure people around me use that word. Don't talk to me like that, dickhead. You don't know me from a fucking can of paint. Sills, Bond is the only player in the league right now with 87 total tackles. It's exceptional. 2 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, 1 recovery. Dude, hey, Andres, he just doesn't have the equity. He's having a heck of a season. Okay? Okay? Seriously. I mean, holy shit, so literally can't read. Totally botched. Carlos is super hat, you dumb fuck. What's a super hat, fuck bag? Help me out on that one. What's a super hat? Is that something you shit in? I must have missed it. Typing. CHAT, if you mean that. Okay? If you're going to throw darts at Big Sills, you better have a big dart, dog. Let's get to the next Siri liar here before we get Xander aboard with us. Guy throws a shot at me for my reading, and he fucks up his chat. A+, guy. A+. If you're going to take a shot at Sills, and by the way, don't take any... you can take total pride in knowing that I can't read. Complete total pride in that. Okay? But if you're going to take a shot at me, try getting your rip and your chat in your tweet or your post right. Okay, ding dong? It would help your position. Hey, Smiley, are you overly incompetent like Joe Biden? No, just like your head coach. Okay? Your head coach is incompetent. All right? Let's see here. Please try to be a little. Hey, listen, you come after Big Seals, you better have it ammo loaded, man. You better not come in with one barrel knot there. Get your fucking head pushed in. Look at my girl here, man. That's my strong safety right there in Louis Vuittons. I'd put Sue in Louis Vuittons back there at that free safety position because she's going to set the tone for me. She's going to knock bitches out. Bang. This is Sue. How you doing? Sue's going to have her shirt on under her pads. How you doing? Look at Sue, man. She goes, Big Sills, I don't wear red bottoms. Hey, Sue, I don't wear red bottoms. Oh, my God. Let's get to Nick Sirianni. All right, man. Hey, have some fun. Guys, do me a favor. Please hit the like button. I appreciate it. This might be over a lot of our heads, but the N-word comes from, oh, come on, man. I don't want to go into that Akbar. Seriously, man. Okay. A history lesson in it. I'm not into that, man. I don't really care. Okay. You shouldn't be, dude. I mean, I posted the clip if you want to go over to Dan Sileo show. She blatantly says it. And I'm like, nobody did anything about it. Holy cow. Yeah, I'm not going in it. Please hit the like button here. All right. Here's M. Reyes's boyfriend, Nick Sirianni. Is your prediction a loss tomorrow night? That's tomorrow, dog. Prediction day is tomorrow. So M. Reyes's boyfriend, Nick Sirianni, spoke today. The bald eagle. He spoke today. Don't forget, White had a great season. Give it time. All right. Here's Mr. Quitter. Damn, Sills. Chad is feisty today. Did you drop a FanDuel bet before I got here? No, I did not. No, I did not. Okay. No, I did not. Oh, I love this one here by Elizabeth. So my family has Philly roots. Middle-class stand-up, hardworking folks. Lots of class. Are these really Philly people in here? Hey, yes, it is, Elizabeth. Yes, it is. Okay? This Big Sil's best show on the planet. James Jones, thank you very much. Hey, and here, wait a minute here. Here's M. Reyes. M. Reyes. King Sirianni is the emperor of Italy. You kidding me, man? The bald eagle? You know what he's the emperor of? You know what he's the emperor of? Alba. Oh, that's way over your head, Junior. You would never understand that. Yeah, today's pregame. Oh, that's right. Oh, Jesus, what a long day tomorrow. Holy cow. Let me do something here first before we get to Nick Siri Liar. It's a long day tomorrow, man. Got to keep my time card. Got to even it out. All right. Long day tomorrow for Big Sills. Hit the like button, folks. Hey, I read you crystal clear there, Flexen. I know who you are. Let's see here. Sills, I don't know. I didn't know they educated you like that at the U. We have to remember something, Harry. When I went to the University of Miami, my degree is the one you fold in your wallet. That was my education. That was my degree. Football. You think I got accepted into a school that has only 13 acceptance rate? And you think I got in there because what? I'm a scholar? Hey, think about that, Xander. So, dude, the University of Miami has like 13% admittance rate, okay, to get into the bitch. Like, you got to have like a pretty good, like, high school education, right? So when I got in there, man, I was like, yeah, hey, Big Sil sets the bar. Oh, man. Hey, I was, I got into U. I don't know how I got into the U. And it's private. Coral Gables. White Folksville. Hey, White Folksville. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't get accepted. I did. Hey, wait a minute, Harry. You didn't get accepted at University of Miami? Hey, I did. So wait a minute. Harry, I can't read, and you can, and I got accepted? Huh, I wonder why. I wonder how that happened. Oh, man. All right. Sil's got a journalist degree because he is a journalist. See, no, he just called me an asshole. And he knows that that's how I look at that. He just called me an asshole. Folks, he's not being cool, okay? Sil's an affirmative action student. Yeah, okay. And you know what? You're a special needs kid. The U full of guys who didn't do shit in the NFL. Oh, okay. Yeah, at least I got there. How about that, kid? How many guys do you know in your life that were the 56 player taken? How you doing? Miami's acceptance rate went down 10 to 13. Says you better have your overtime pay clock ready. It's going to be a long few days for you. Samuel, with some of you Eagle guys, it always is a long few days for me. So you're a poor man's Jordan Davis? No. Actually, my rookie year, I had a better rookie year than your boy. I had more tackles. Then again, I could have fell down and had more tackles than he had his rookie year. Imagine Sills is a good person in real life, but on YouTube, he needs John McMullen to act like a normal human being. Oh, Yavi. Yavi, I am a good guy, man. I just like having fun, dog. Wait, hey, that's what's wrong with people in the world today. No, people don't have enough fun, man. What's wrong with that? When I applied to you, they said I was overqualified. Yeah, I'm sure. For what? Maintenance worker? This guy worked on the dorms. Dak Prescott worked at the dorms. That's why he ended up at Mississippi State. Hey, by the way, let's take a look at Mississippi State. Let me see here. What's the acceptance rate at Mississippi State? What's the acceptance rate at Mississippi State? Holy shit. It's 75%. Oh, that means, hey, get this. You know why they do that? So they get their football guys in there. 75%. Holy shit. It's a good school, though, man. Mississippi State's a good school. It is. Most of them SEC schools are good. Wait a minute. Hey, I didn't want to do this as Xander, but Bama's is higher. Bama's is higher, but that's because of football. What is Alabama's acceptance rate? Oh, my God. It's 76 to 85%. Oh my, it's a fucking great education too, man. It's a really good school. It's a great school. They do that just for the football, though, man. Okay, it's a great school. Other sports shows suck because it's scripted and woke. Hey, dude, honest to God, look what I do every day for you guys. I write down notes, and I just clip notes for me. I've done that my whole life. Hey, one last thing before we move on to Nikki. Do you know one day me and Tony Bruno walked into the Jim Rome studio? Some of you probably don't know because in Philadelphia or true sports cities, you guys don't have national guys talking to you. Who fucking cares what the national guys think? Like when a national guy's on in Philly, they turn the channel. You know why? I don't care what's going on in Arizona. Now, I kind of do a little bit. It's NFC, so I kind of get it. But I'd rather have you talking to me about Italian ice in South Philly than talking to me about the Seattle Seahawks. Nobody cares. Okay, so the national guys, nobody in New York, Philly, my corridor is Philly, DC, Baltimore, New York, Boston. That's my who I am. That whole area is who I am. Okay? That's where I traveled. Then, of course, down to Miami and Tampa, I would say that too. That's my neck of the woods. That's my kind of folks. So, Jim Rome, I go to Los Angeles. Oh, by the way, I saw that Fox Sports Radio. I posted some pictures of me at Fox Sports Radio. I was the first guy or second guy hired at that national network because of my work that I did in Tampa. I was the highest rated morning show host on the East Coast for 13 years. I was doing 10, 11, 12, 13 shares every single 3 months. It's true. And I was like the first or second. Tony might have been hired before me, but I was the second. I just saw that iHeart now is firing guys because of cutbacks. They got to cut back 5% of their workforce. And I was on that network. But you know, one of the things you always knew is that the reason I hated national radio, nobody gives a shit in those local cities what you're talking about. They don't care. Aren't you a West Coast guy, though? No, I was born in Stamford, Connecticut. What, just because my daughter was born on the West Coast. She's born in Los Angeles. And you're out in Southern California. You think that makes me a Southern California guy? What are you, fucking nuts? Are you kidding me? I would never own that. I would never own that. See here. Thank you, Z. You spoiled. Here. Xander's coming up soon, man. By the way, also, too, Battle Royale is here today. Here, let me do Nick before we do Xander here. So we talked about Zach Ertz and his so-called love fest and love affair that he has with Zach Ertz. Do I believe it? No. Nick Sirianni likes Zach Ertz. Okay, sure. What do you do, coach him for 5 weeks? He loves him? Okay. That's the shit that I hate about him. You know, I really had a great relationship with him when he was here. And, yeah, did you really have a great relationship when they fired him in the tunnel after a Monday night game? How would that relationship go? Really? You really buy that? When I heard that today at the press conference, he's full of shit. You fired the guy walking into the tunnel. Hey, by the way, you've been traded to Arizona. Hey, you know, that's part of the business of the game. You know, what, firing a guy in the tunnel? Okay, fired a guy in the tunnel. That's the way you do it? That's why one of the reasons I asked you guys how you looked at him and how you thought of him. Someone told me you're best buddies with Governor Newsom. Who's that? Tim Newsom? Hey, so Nick goes like this. He goes, Yeah, Zach Hurts, man. I really I really admire the guy. He's really one of the Philly guys of all time. And I'm going like, shut up, man. No one believe in you with that shit. You fire a guy in the tunnel. And there's little Howie. Hey, you're on your way to. Now, I would imagine Howie talks like this. Hey, you're on your way to Arizona. If Sills was West Coast, he would be drinking wine and eating snacks on a toothpick. Brie and cheese in a Cabernet. No, I'm more of a brat and a beer. That's kind of my shit, man. Yeah, I don't eat like Dick Train does. That little weenies on a stick. Hey, that's who Dick Train is now. He's a little weenie on a stick. Hey, yeah, Keebler Roseman in the hallway going, hey, guess what? You're fired. You're on your way to Arizona. Yeah, some love affair. Big Z, let's go. Run them likes up here. Hang on here. All right, hang on. Wait, real quick here. Let's see. What else? Did he say anything? Cowboys. Oh, yeah, my question. I have one question when Xander comes up. So, Nick, with the demarcation of the offense and the demarcation, I was listening to the press and I had to look the word up. I was like, I've never heard that word before. John's a more educated guy than me because I'm not as educated as he is. But I mean, demarcation. I thought that was something Trump was going to do to. I thought that was something Trump was going to do. All right, he didn't really say anything. So I know a guy who says a lot. Hey, by the way, man, Jaden Daniels. God, I can't wait for this kid tomorrow night, man. By the way, oh, wait, do we have? Yes. I'm going to get over the playoff picture with him, too, as well. So, without further ado, the co-host, the Birds 365, Big Z. Xander Krause joins us now.
What's up, Big Sills?
How's it going? Demarcation as well.
Yeah, what did I miss? Did John ask that to Nick or something?
First question. He goes, so with the demarcation of the offense, I go, shit, demarcation. Let me look that. What is that?
I do Birds 365 with a thesaurus next to me.
No, I was like, what the hell is he talking about?
I got to text John about that.
Yeah, ask him. Those are really big.
Yeah, what are you out here crying about?
Like this?
Out here crying about a Thursday game tomorrow? Oh, it's going to be a long day. Quit crying, dog.
I'm crying about nothing.
We're not digging ditches, man. We talking sports.
Hold on here, man. You're making me sound like a bitch here. I'm not. Who do you think I am here, man?
I'm not making you sound like anything.
Holy cow here. So let me ask you, flat out of the gate here.
Let's go.
You think your boy, Jalen Hurts, is outplayed Jaden Daniels this year?
I mean, I don't think he's outplayed him when you're talking about a player-to-player comp, but I also think that the hype on Jaden Daniels has been a little overrated. He's had a couple games here, and I'm not expecting him to play great every game. He's a rookie, so I get it, but, he was pretty shitty in that Bears game. He was okay at best in that Steelers game. I mean, he didn't win the game for that team. He was 50% completions in that game. He's had a couple other games, too. I mean, they were close with the Giants. They had a lot of close games this year, but look, I give him credit. He's a rookie. He looks damn good.
But look where Washington has come from, man.
Yeah.
You were bringing it up. They haven't been relevant in 30 years almost.
Yeah. No, you're right. He's done a lot, and I think that's probably the biggest accomplishment. Forget the 7 wins. 7 wins is great for any organization as a rookie, but turning a franchise around is no small feat. Now, I don't think he did that alone. I think it's a credit to some of what they've done with the new ownership. And, I actually think their GM has done a really nice job. He might win. He might be the executive of the year in the NFL right now. So he's done a really good job. I thought it was interesting listening to Theismann yesterday. He's like, this is basically a whole new team.
Oh, yeah.
And that's a credit to the GM, obviously, who brought in some better players and kind of reworked their roster. But, Jaden's been good, man. Like I said, I'm not there yet. I want to see it more. Is he going to be able to hold up, dude?
I don't know here, and that's a great question. And here, I put these numbers down here. But then my question would be, is Hurts going to hold up? Now, look
Hurts,
at this.
Dude, look, I know Hurts has a style that's more conducive to getting injuries and stuff like that. Jalen Hurts is a beast when it comes to like the way he's built as a player. He's
Remember
built like,
what Phil Simms said about him? He has more control being a guy not taking contact,
yep,
because when he takes off running, he
and running
knows
back.
when to get down.
Yeah,
But here, look at to your point. And I agree with that. I didn't think of it like that, but Phil was right. He's on pace for 200 carries. I mean, that's a lot, dude. 200
it is.
carries is a
It
lot.
is. Now I think there's like what 20 or 25 tush pushes and stuff. So maybe it's really like
See, I
now.
disagree with John on this here. Don't you
I
think that's
disagree too
physical?
because the tush push is definitely a dangerous
Yeah.
play. Yeah.
Don't you think? See,
Yeah.
I disagree with John. I think that's a physical play.
It's
Think
a
about
very
it,
physical
Xander.
play.
You got three,
Ask Jason Kelsey about that play. He
hey,
hates that fucking play.
or do this. Ask Patrick Mahomes when he got his ankle rolled up on it and they never run that play with him ever again. I think that is a physical play. So here, check it out here. Look at how these where Jalen gets him though is in the TDs here. Both guys are going to throw for 445 passes, which is great. That's the number and the screws he has to be on. Both are going to complete about 310 passes. They're both right there. One 69.8 Hurts, the other 68.7 completion percentage. Remember something too. Put into context. Daniels is a rookie, and he's on pace for 36.50 in passing. Jalen's on pace for 37.32. Jalen Hurts, the more he's closer to that 3,700 number, that means I know he's playing well. When I see Jalen Hurts getting higher in the passing yards, I know that there's going to be more turnovers and that he's not going to be that player of 22. It's funny. I thought about this last night. The more he looks like those 22 numbers, the more he's going to be effective and the more he's going to win. Now, this is where he kills him here. He's on pace for 15 touchdowns and 3 picks. The 3 picks, obviously, same amount of attempts, is damn good. But the passing touchdowns, Jalen's on pace for 23 and 9, 101.7 in rating. Jalen's on pace for 103.4. But listen to this. When it comes to total yards, Daniels 44.69, Hurts 44.46. And obviously 22 touchdowns for Daniels and 38 for Hurts. But what I'm saying is this. These two guys, you're going to see a mirror of each other in that game tomorrow night. These two guys play the same style of football.
It's going to be interesting. I mean, I think the one that plays better will win the game tomorrow.
How about this one? I think the one that doesn't turn the ball over wins the game.
Well, that means you played better, right? If you don't turn the ball over. Same in a way. I hear what you're saying. I also think, into the equation of what you're talking about should go the talent around them. And I think Jalen has a clear advantage in talent around him. I mean, Jaden has a solid team. They don't have talent like the Eagles offense. There's no way. So I think that's fair to point out. I mean, look, Jaden has had a great year, but he does have the benefit of being a rookie. He does have the benefit of there being no tape out there.
That's a benefit.
Now, I'm not taking credit away from him. It's impressive what he's done as a rookie. But when you're this good, it's teams have to get that tape on you, and they don't have it yet. So, look, Jaden's been really good, man. I respect him. I was watching a lot of their tape earlier today and last night because I'm getting ready for this game, and I like looking into it and kind of catching any of the things I missed. They've been really good in moments, but there's other moments I look at them and they look like a very pedestrian team.
Because the quarterback's a rookie and he'll have moments of looking like that.
Yeah, right, which is fair. I mean, I don't think
what's Hurts' excuse when he had those moments in the first 4?
Yeah, I mean, they were trying to probably do something with Jalen they shouldn't have been trying to do, potentially.
But you know what I got to give credit to? I got to give credit to the Eagle coaches for riding the ship and correcting it. And I'll tell you, I'm leading you somewhere here with this.
Yeah, look, and let me ask you this here real quick before you go there, because I know Jalen's 5-year guy, Jaden's a rookie, but how much do you put on, like, Jalen did decide to take over, calling out the coverages this year, pre-snap reading, all of those things. He kind of took control of that. He's taken ownership of this offense more so this year. He does have a new play caller that has new terminology in there. I'm not using that as an excuse to write off some of his struggles, but I do think it's fair to say, well, he's not going to play his best football until they get on the same page. Is that fair?
It's fair till I bring this up. Daniel's doing that this year.
That's true.
Jaden Daniels is calling pass protections. Jaden Daniels is reading defenses. Jaden Daniels is the guy who's involved, like I said, in setting protections. and he's doing that his rookie year. It took Jalen Hurts 4 years to learn that. Now, wait, I'll take that back. He wasn't allowed to do that because Kelsey had the upper hand in that because they felt more comfortable in him setting the protections. So at the end of the day here, this is the first year he's doing this. Well, Daniels is doing it in year one.
Yeah. Which is not, I mean,
you have to remember one thing.
Not all of it's on Hurts.
But here's the difference. That kid played 3 years at Arizona State, and he played another year at LSU.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, he played in college, and he was starting the whole time. He wasn't dicked around like Jalen was, where he had to sit, he was yanked, he had a transfer. I mean, this guy played consistent football and a ton of reps in college. I think that's why it's benefited him and Brock Purdy. You know, Brock Purdy had 38 starts. He had 38 starts at Iowa State.
Yeah, I mean he's only by the way, he's only 2.5 years younger than Jalen Hurts. I mean, he's about to be 24 next month.
Yeah.
And Hurts just turned 26. So they're kind of,
yeah.
You know, Jaden obviously had a lot more college experience than I think Jalen did. Because remember, Jalen lost the year on the bench, you know, and in the first couple of years, you know, look, I'm a Bama guy. Bama was not trying to develop Jalen as a player. They were trying to win football games. You know, he really started to get his development as a passer and as a next level type of quarterback at Oklahoma. In fact, if you went in a time machine right now and you can put me in this conversation and you went back to Alabama on the campus after his second year where he won SEC Offensive Player of the Year, when he was a Heisman candidate, when, you know, the team won a national championship with him leading us. And you asked anybody on that campus or anybody that watched, and they would say, oh, he's not going to be an NFL quarterback. He's great at Alabama, but he's not an NFL quarterback. He couldn't throw. He could throw, but he couldn't throw great. So his
That's why they hated the pick at number 2 when you guys drafted him.
Exactly. I mean, look, he was more of, I mean, some people called him like a Taysom Hill like on draft night when he was selected. So his development is impressive. I will give him that. I mean, he doesn't look like an incompetent thrower at all. Is he Josh Allen? No. And I'm not going to say he's ever going to be that, but he doesn't have to be. He just got to keep getting better at what he does, continue to use his legs and open the game up, you know, keep defenses on their heels. And I think they're in a good spot, but Jaden's probably playing better than him right now. I'll give you that.
I think Jaden's had more. And by the way, I think Jaden's getting better coaching. And I'm going to go here now because we heard something of Joe Theismann. And this is what I took from our interview from Joe Theismann yesterday. Joe Theismann, we were talking about coordinators and matching up the coordinators correctly. I really think that Cliff Kingsbury would have been a better hire in Philadelphia. And I know there was a Stoutland conversation that was involved in that. And that was probably the deal breaker that caused that thing.
I've heard that was fake news, by the way.
Oh, really? Well, they did offer him a 3-year contract. I know that for a fact.
Not fake news, but more as, you know, because I talked to John about
excuse.
Exactly. And it was never isolated into just
also it was fake intel from the Eagles putting that out.
Now, again, that's not confirmed that it's that, but that's the speculation because I talked to John and look, I know people like John, don't like John, whatever your opinion is. John is a very good reporter. And John said that whole story was weird to him. He never had any confirmation from any second, third, or fourth source on the whole Jeff Stoutland thing. And he thinks Cliff Kingsbury, it wasn't Stoutland. It was just a little bit more control. It was just, I want to run my offense.
Yep.
And that wasn't flying with them. And, you know, it wasn't really Nick.
They had a 3-year deal on the table. I know that they had a 3-year deal on the table. And
yeah, I mean, listen, you got to ask John about it because John, you know, we should bring John. You really should have John as a guest on the show every once in a while because John said he was by and far the leader in the clubhouse. Like it was by everybody on the inside thought, they're going for Cliff Kingsbury. That's who they want. He's their first choice, all those things. Ultimately, it never worked out. Now, I don't know what ended up getting in the way.
I think he probably took the more controlled deal in Washington.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think the Eagles shoot him out because he wouldn't beg off on wanting control. You know, I don't know if it was even his decision. It was more the Eagles like, okay, we're not gonna hire you then.
Let me throw this at you here then. Now that you say that, I didn't think of this dynamic then. Do you think Kingsbury didn't take the job because he knew that Nick would have an influence in the offense still?
Well, I think that's part of it. I don't think
Nick has an influence in this offense.
Yeah, I don't think Cliff denied the job. I think it was more the organization saying, we're not looking for a guy that wants autonomy of the offense.
Then why would they offer him a contract?
I don't know. I don't know if the contract offer is confirmed or not. I don't know if they actually did. I mean, I know they met with him, but you know,
Three
it was.
times.
I'll tell you what, it was
Three
interesting.
times.
You know, and I said yesterday how much I love when you have Joe Theismann on. I know people have a problem because he's a Commander guy or Redskin guy, whatever. I don't give a shit about that. The guy's a genius when it comes to football. He's also a great person from my interactions with him.
Yeah.
But his takes on Cliff Kingsbury yesterday were interesting. You know, he was the first one you've really heard say, Jaden's playing great, but not enough credit is going to what Cliff Kingsbury has done in order to acclimate him to the offense, create a game plan that's conducive to his style, and all of these things. And I thought it was interesting the way Joe Theismann broke it down. So Cliff
How
is
about
good.
this?
Cliff is better with the dual threat quarterbacks than
Yeah,
Kellen is.
then Kellen. That's
Yeah.
where I'm going here. And by
Well,
the
we
way,
never knew with Kellen because he never had it, but he hasn't, you know.
this is not really a rip at Kellen. I'm not ripping him. I'm just talking about skill set fitting a coordinator here. And I would say this to you, Xander. Think about Kingsbury's pedigree. Okay, Mahomes, Murray, Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels. They all have a common theme. These are all dual threat quarterback guys that he has coached. Here's Kellen Moore's pedigree. Dak Prescott, Justin Herbert, guys like that. Don't you think the first 4 weeks? Now, I brought this up. Don't you think the first 4 weeks may have been more about Kellen figuring out Jalen than Jalen figuring out Kellen? That they went like this in the bye and said, listen, we got to go and do what this guy does best. Dropping him back 37 times a game, that's going to be a slower putt. And you know what? The running game's going to help develop his passing game more because why? You're going to get more single coverage out there, and the kid's passing like it did in 22 is going to be better. I think that this kid is figuring it out. And I mean, Kellen Moore is figuring out the quarterback more because he's never coached that style.
I think it's I do think it's a two-way street. I think you're bringing up a great point, actually, that probably not enough people are considering, and that's why I see Keith says preseason. You know, I would have put Jalen out there in the preseason for this reason.
Yes.
Because you can go through camp all you want, and I get it. Like it's tough to even make that argument now because look at how healthy the Eagles are. I'm telling you, they're going to stick to their run. I mean, everybody's healthy. They still have everybody. So I'm not even trying to advocate for it, to be honest, because I don't think it's a winning message. But going through 7-on-7s in practice is not a way for a coordinator to learn a quarterback.
Says it's fake football.
You got to put them in the real thing, and that's why probably the first couple of weeks you're seeing different things because different looks were coming each game, and it was a different learning experience for Kellen and Jalen. And I think they're getting better together. I mean, but it's clear they've put they've put the ball in the hands of the running game a lot more for sure. Now they've been able to because they've been winning. So
you're dead to me. I told you this before the season started, Sills. You wouldn't listen. I said they would have a bumpy start out of the gate offensively, jackass. You're dead to me. What are you talking about? You have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, you did. You said that.
Okay, I mean, this guy, look at him. He's trying to – this guy here, once again, like WHIP is trying to take credit for Big Sills gear. So, speaking of gear, I forgot. Forget it. No, we can't bring that up either. Anyway, hit the like button here. Super Chats go to the top. All right. Tell me what you think of Zach Ertz.
Love him. You kidding me? Love him. Big catch in the Super Bowl to help us ice the deal. Raise the trophy in this city. Not only that, but he was a tremendous off-the-field guy, did a bunch in the community, bunch of giving back. Him and his wife. Really seems like he checks all the boxes as a guy, as a guy you'd want representing your organization and your city. So I got no bad blood. If I was in the stadium tomorrow, which I will not be, I would definitely give him a clap and then say, all right, now it's time to beat the shit out of you. But you're going to get my clap. I mean, remember, he had that big-ass catch in the Super Bowl, man, where he dove, leaped out. That was a big play. And he did a lot of good stuff off the field too, which I respect a lot. I respect giving back and the charitable nature of some of these guys. And I like Zach Ertz a lot. I'm happy that he's going to be back this week. It should be cool to see him back in the stadium.
You know what? I love what you said. Get him a clap. You know how hard that is for somebody in Philadelphia to do something like that in different gear? That's pretty cool. If I walked in the stadium and I had played there and I had done something great there like that, and the fans clapped for me and gave me like an ovation. Buffalo, Pittsburgh, Green Bay, places like that give me love. That tells me a lot about the fan base and what they think of you here.
Do you think there's going to be a tribute video tonight? Somebody
What's that?
Forrest Hill said made a tribute video. Do you think there'll be a tribute video tonight or tomorrow night for him? Probably not, right?
No. Because didn't he play last year for them?
Not just like a quick thank you with some highlights of his Eagles career. You don't think
they played that game up there?
Yeah, I don't think he's ever been back in Philly.
No, I don't think so either. I don't think he's been back. Maybe because he was part of that iconic team. Maybe Forrest. Maybe
I think that would be appropriate. I'm not saying you got to make a long, drawn out ceremony, but flash something on the screen for the people in the crowd. Zach Ertz, because I think you're right. I think he's an Eagles Hall of Famer. Now, I don't know. I mean, I think eventually they'll put him in there. But
how about this? He's on pace for 63 catches and 650 yards and 4 touchdowns. I mean,
well, can I also say that when they traded
more
him,
than any tight end in Philly this year?
When they traded him, I remember I wasn't on the air at the time.
Who's in the tunnel?
When I was behind the scenes, and I said to John before Birds 365, right after they traded him, I'm like, what a stupid trade. The guy has so much left in the tank. And here we are. I thought for sure. Agreed. 100%.
He was walking off the field and they told him he was walking in the tunnel.
Actually, I'll go as far as to say, I think Howie learned from that. I think that's why you saw the deal with Brandon Graham this year and basically a carpet of whenever you want to hang them up, you can hang them up. Same thing with Jason Kelsey. They're going to do the same thing with Lane Johnson, and they did the same thing with Fletcher Cox, who I thought retired a little early. But, I think Howie might have learned from that and said, why did we let him go? That wasn't worth what we got out of that.
And do you do it on the field after a Monday night game when you're walking off the field that you're saying, hey, by the way, you've been traded to Arizona? That was so uncool.
And also, what have we been looking for since he's been gone?
Tight
end too. I mean, he would have been the perfect tight end too. He would have been perfect. I mean, I think it would have been easier to have the conversation with him and say, you're reaching Dallas Goedert's elevated. We're going to give him the big contract. We want him to be our premier tight end, but we want to give you a deal to make you kind of the secondary guy there. And Keith brings up another good point. He's reliable, doesn't miss a lot of games. And, I love him. I mean, look,
then I heard, of course, Nick Sirianni, my release, really like the guy, and I'm going, come on, we're with him 2 months. Holy shit. How do you know the guy, man? You have no affiliation with the guy, and you were part of the whole crew that canned his ass. If you liked him enough, and this is where I say to you once again, the head coach, if he really wants a guy, you think if Mike Tomlin wants to keep someone, they keep him? Oh, they keep him. If Mike Tomlin wants, you ain't pulling somebody off Mike Tomlin's roster without telling you and checking with Mike Tomlin. Here's Nick. Oh, you're getting rid of him? Okay. Hey, but I really like him. Fuck that. Come on, man. Stick up for somebody, Nick. Hey, Nick, anybody. Stick up for Brian. Stick up for anybody.
Nick's a tumbleweed, dog.
Nick's blowing in the wind. He doesn't stick up for players. He doesn't stick up for assistant coaches.
No, you're wrong about that. Come on. He stands up for his players. He takes everything. He makes everything look like it's his fault when it's not always his fault.
Oh, my God. You know what that is? That's like telling me the guy enjoys self-deprecation.
Oh, dude, don't give me that shit. You're smart enough to know. You're smart enough. You played for great coaches. What do? They fall on the sword. Come on, you know that.
Great coaches don't have to because it's their room. They don't have to fall on any sword because you know why? They wield the sword. They don't fall on it. You think Jimmy Johnson's fucking falling on a sword for himself? No, hey,
if he needed to in a moment to protect his players, yeah, I do.
Nick doesn't have a call. He's you know what that guy reminds me of? You know the bugler that gives like taps when someone dies or like reveille? That's what Nick is. This guy blows a trumpet. He's just a trumpet blower. That's what Sirianni is. He's a fucking trumpet blower.
I don't think so. I think the entire city, you included, has gone too far on Nick Sirianni.
Oh God.
You're acting like the dude is a certified dumbass.
So why is he constantly on the scrutiny on being canned?
Because not everybody is smart, said Dan.
Oh, I see. Really? So you think that guy's a great coach?
Well, all right.
Or
You
do
don't
you
like
think
Nick.
he is
Okay,
a
fine. Let me just run through
he's
it.
a
You don't like Nick.
benefit of
Okay,
the
fine.
organization? Because hey, do you think Chip Kelly was a great coach?
Well, clearly wasn't good personnel.
Well, he had a winning record here.
Yeah, well, he was a good offensive mind, but his philosophy came and went. The league caught up to it, and he had no ability to adapt. That makes you a bad coach.
Doug had a winning record and won a Super Bowl here. Okay.
Yeah, so
Where I'm going is no coach since 2000 has had a losing record in Philadelphia. I mean, couldn't it be possible that the organization is an organization that believes that they build the rosters, very talented rosters, and you shouldn't lose no matter how incapable you are at making decisions? I'll tell you what, you're telling me you think that guy's made great decisions this year, or how about this one? I'll take it back. You think that guy has made – do you think Nick Sirianni makes his team better?
Yeah, I do. Dude, you have a roster.
What's his job then? What's his job?
You have a roster of 50.
Tell me how he makes them better.
Sills, I think you're being. Come on, man. You have a roster of 50 plus grown men.
How he makes them better? And okay, now go okay.
They're bought in. The entire team
Bought
is
into what?
What he's selling. He's the head coach of the team.
What's his job? What are they buying?
You got 50 grown professionals in a room.
Wait a minute, you think they're buying into Vic Fangio's defense because of Nick Sirianni?
No, but I don't think they're not buying into what he's doing.
I don't know what he's doing. I think they're buying into Kellen's offense.
All right, so for everybody who tells me I'm dumb in the chat, okay, Xander McMullen, okay, great. I don't believe that at all. But if Nick Sirianni retired today, he would be top 10 in the history of football for winning percentage.
Do you think history of football? Okay, so you think he could go to Chicago and turn the Bears around?
I never said that. We don't know that.
No, wait,
how can you make an assumption though using that without knowing what the answer would be?
That guy would go anywhere and fall on his fucking face because he doesn't have the institutional and the environment that organization provides for him and the fail-safes. He doesn't have that.
It's a total red herring by you.
Oh, my God.
Doesn't mean shit. Oh, he would
500 guys could coach.
How do you know that?
500 guys could coach that team.
How do you know that, though?
Because I know he doesn't have a job. Watch this. Hey, you my boy? Yeah. You bought in? I'm your friend. What do you do? I don't know, really. I put out videos on people, and I talked to you about holding up Jaden Daniels when he was at LSU or some shit. I don't know what he was talking about today on Jalen Carter, something.
Listen, I get it. Not everybody's going to like Nick Sirianni, but for us to sit here.
No, I don't really liking Nick Sirianni has nothing to do with it. I don't give a shit about him. I know him from a can of paint. I'm talking about him coaching.
Dude, I listened to Fletcher Cox talk about him yesterday on a national show. And
where was his leadership last year when they were 27
playoff, and now he's 7-2. I mean, dude, you got to give the guy some credit. You got to give
that guy dick.
I love criticizing. I love coming on here when the team pisses us off and ripping into Nick. I love it. It's fun. But you got to call a spade a spade.
I am. I think he's
been in the playoffs 4 years.
I think he's a product of that. Like George Seifert was a product of San Francisco. I think he's a product of the organization.
Oh, good. That means you think highly of Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, more than him. Oh my God! If you were to ask me, who do you respect more, and who's more of a reflection of that record, that 40-19 or whatever it is? It's on Hurts, not him. Hurts is more responsible for that.
Are you under the assumption that it's an easy job to manage personalities, talents, and
he doesn't manage that fucking defense at all.
I'm not talking about that. He's got 6 potential all-stars on that offense. He's got to manage all those people, manage their personalities, manage their egos, getting them in the game, keeping them motivated, all these things. You don't think any of that matters?
So wait, you think that he's running the entire offense then? And Kellen is not really the guy. That. Okay, well, I'm not sure what you're saying because you can't.
Do you look at Kellen Moore and think you don't
define his job for me? What is his exact job he does? Watch this. You know what Mike Tomlin does? Mike picks his coaching staff. Mike picks the players. Mike picks the scheme. He picks everything, and he's in control of it. Same thing as John Harbaugh. Let's do this here with Nick. And let's compare him to Tomlin. Do you think he picks his coaching staff? I don't think he picks his nose. Do you think he picks the talent? Absolutely not. Do you think he picks that scheme? Absolutely not. That's a Howie and up management. What exactly is his job description that you're telling me? What, he's boys and these guys go out to movies and they watch horror films every Saturday night before the game?
I just think you're dumbing down the job too much. I think there's a lot of stuff that goes.
No, I'm dumbing him down, not the job.
Well, there's a lot, but he's doing the job.
He's doing the job in spite of what his inefficiencies are as a head. You really think many of those decisions that he made, that like the Jaguar game, will you think that was a well-coached game by him?
No, I don't. Does Andy Reid coach every game?
How about when well, I don't know. They're 9-0. You shouldn't go there because they're 9-0.
Yeah, but I watched them get fired in Philly for his management.
Let's do this one here. So when Mike Tomlin was being told by his entire coaching staff in the front office, don't pull a guy who's 6-1.
I would have told them they're all fucking stupid.
He went like this. They all go like this. Don't do it. Per man. I talked to Carl Dunbar and Alfredo. Those two guys, don't yank them out because you don't want to upset what's going on. You know what Tomlin said at the meeting? He goes, nah, I got a feeling this thing's going to work out. And sure enough, Pittsburgh looks like a team again, and they look like a formidable team in the AFC again. And that's because Tomlin had the balls to make the call. You think Nick Sirianni – wait, I'm going to compare it. So Nick Sirianni, can you imagine this, folks? He's sitting down. Front office doesn't want him to make a move. Coaching staff doesn't want him to make a move. And Nick goes like this, fuck everyone upstairs and you guys too. This is my way. I'm doing this. Hey, sorry, dude. I don't see that sweetheart having that kind of kuyans to do something.
Every
like
job
that.
has different set of circumstances, man. I'm not going to compare Nick Sirianni's job to Mike Tomlin, which, by the way, I mean, you talk about Nick having a great roster. Mike Tomlin got the greatest organization in football with the way they manage coaches. The dude could be 8-8 every year for 10 years and they won't fire him.
That's a great
call. You get blown out when you're 11-6.
How
it's
about
a different
this?
Set of circumstances.
That's a great thing there. Manage coaches. That's right. Pittsburgh managed coaches. The Eagles don't manage coaches because they don't value them as much.
Well, they don't.
You're right. Well, no, the facts are there's only been 3 in Pittsburgh. You guys have had numerous coaches in the last 25 years because the front office thinks you can change them out like tires.
Yeah, I don't think you're wrong about that, but I'm not going to sit here and act like Nick Sirianni's a clown. I mean, the dude is 41-19, bro.
The bald eagle kills it, man. I mean, what? Hey,
dude, I'm not even saying I love the dude.
He's a candidate for Coach of the Year?
No, I don't. I mean, I think if we win out or if we beat the Commanders twice, I think he's going to be in that conversation naturally.
Well, no, if they win the next 3, Xander, he will be.
Oh, he will be for sure. And you know who else is going to be in the conversation? Jalen Hurts going to be in the MVP conversation, regardless of how he plays. That's just how the cookie crumbles, and you're smart enough to know that in the NFL. But look, is Nick my first choice? No, he's not. Do I think he's a moron that has no idea what he's doing, that the city wants to crucify every week? No, he's not.
If you took a poll and asked every Eagle fan, do you want Nick Sirianni back next year? What do you think they'd say?
I think most would probably say no. So I understand I'm fighting a losing battle here.
No, you're not, because you know why?
Well,
if you got 50-50, if you got 50-50 on both sides, you know, to me, that's exactly how it should be. You don't want this 95% fire the guy. You want half the room. Like
he's telling me I'm compromised. He says I got a check from Howie. Where's the check? I thought these checks were bigger, MJ.
Hey, are you guys listening to this guy? Yesterday, I picked Devontae Smith over CeeDee Lamb. Now he's defending Nick. This is fucking unbelievable.
Take, by the way, I couldn't believe you.
Oh, it's totally a stupid take. CeeDee Lamb is a different player, man. He's a slot guy. He's not a perimeter guy. By the way, if you put CeeDee Lamb on the perimeter, then put him in the slot, I mean, he wouldn't have A.J. Brown numbers. No way. He's not that player.
It's another red herring argument because you don't know this.
It's the new phrase of the day, red herring. What the hell is that? You and what's the other one that McMullen used? What was that? Malfeasious or whatever the fuck it was? Holy cow, man.
It
These
is
guys
though.
are
That's all
hitting.
you're using. Look over here. No, that's not what I'm talking about, dog. I'm not talking about that.
All right.
Distracting me with bullshit.
Hey,
By the way, what's on your shirt? Is that New York City?
no,
San
San
Francisco.
Francisco.
What
Yeah.
a shitty shirt.
I love San Francisco. Great city, man.
I've never been. I can't. I'm just
No,
messing.
it's the government blows
I hear
dogs.
there's a lot of feces on the ground, which
The
makes me
government blows dogs,
not
but
interested
the
in going.
views
So.
are just insane. Plus, I worked there. When I worked
Yeah.
there, and I was at KMBR and
Yeah,
KTO.
yeah.
Yeah, I worked there, man. What do you think the Keys will be tomorrow night?
Keys? See, I want to say run the ball, you
Yeah.
know, and I think one of the biggest things there is probably contain Jaden Daniels. You know, you got to set the edges. The edge rushers have to have a good day tomorrow. And I'm not even.
Do you bring pressure, or do you just generically do
Well,
it with your edge?
I mean, you saw what Pittsburgh did last week. 53%. They
Brought a ton of guys.
Ton of guys all
and
the
they
time.
were in the 5-man front too,
Yeah.
a lot in that.
And Jaden, you know, didn't have his best game. He was 50%. I mean,
They
so
held
I
him
think
to 5 yards rushing.
But you know what I think is even more important in this game is I know you always want to get home. You always want to sack a quarterback, obviously. But I think the edge rushers have to set the edge. Because if you can contain Jaden Daniels in the pocket, and then I think what Vic is going to do, because I don't think Vic is going to become a 50% blitzer tomorrow night. I mean, let's be real. Vic never does that. So if we just take the assumption that Vic is going to blitz his 20% of the time like he always does, okay, what's he going to do to confuse the rookie, right? Because that's what veteran defensive coordinators do. They try and give you different looks, confuse you, and do all those things. I think the confusion is going to come in the secondary, in the zone coverages, in the way they're lining up, nickel, big nickel, the way they're moving the linebackers around. I think that's where he's going to try and confuse Jaden. Now, if you have edge rushers setting the edge and forcing Jaden to beat you from the pocket, I think that's where Vic can kind of take advantage of him and force him to be dissecting from the pocket. Now, I don't think Jaden's bad at that, but I think if you take away his legs a little bit, or at least, you know, keep him inside the pocket, I think your life becomes a lot easier. And then the other thing would be stop the run. You know, they have Brian Robinson coming back, who's a great football player, Alabama guy. Watched him in Alabama. He's a good player. He should be back. So, you know, he doesn't have quite the impact that Saquon has here, but he helps their offense a lot. And remember, they didn't have him last week, you know, in that Pittsburgh game. So I think if he's back, you're going to have to try and, you know, buckle up that front and stop the run the best you can and force Jaden to beat you from the pocket. You know, because by the way, it's not like he's looking at a great set of receivers. I mean, Terry McLaurin's great. Don't get me wrong, but outside of that, they got a bunch of guys. Noah Brown, Olamide Zaccheaus. I mean, they're okay. So yeah, and as JT Philly says, I mean, and then you're gonna have, you know, Jalen Carter can eat from the inside, you know, and I think that's where Vic's going to be looking for pressure from the guys up front, you know, not manufacturing it in a way, kind of, you know, those guys got to win their battles and, you know, at least create some pressure. We'll see about that though. But that would be my set of, you know, things I would be focusing on. Now it's easier said than done, obviously, but you know, I think if you do that, you give yourself a good chance to work within the confines of what you got and potentially walk out of there with a win. You know, I also think the other big thing is if there's a game to get a lead, if there's a game to score early, this is the game. You know, don't let these dudes hang around. Get up, put them on their heels, make them get out of their normal offense, because both of these teams have played with a lot with the lead this year, which if you're Commanders, what's your game plan? Get a lead early. Don't let them run the ball with Saquon, right? Force them to drop back into that passing style that they've struggled with. That's probably their game plan as well. So I think it works both ways there.
Let me throw this at you here too. I think there's two components here to keep an eye on here in this game. Do you understand that when you look at the Washington Commanders, they got 4 dudes at 400 yards rushing right now, or they got one guy at 464, Daniels. They got another guy at 460 and Robinson, who's missed some time, like you said, 3 games.
Some games.
This guy's averaging almost 5 yards a carry himself. And then you've got this one guy who I remember him out in, and I know Nick knows him very well. That's Austin Eckler. You know, Austin Eckler's on pace right now for 600 yards rushing and 500 yards receiving. So you got to keep an eye on that guy getting out of the perimeter and making plays, because he can make plays. He's a good football player, dude. And if you, like you said, what I love about Daniels, You brought it up here, man. I mean, look at these guys here. The wide receiving core outside of McLaurin, Noah Brown, like you said, Noah Brown here.
Yeah, I mean, look, if he wasn't making them better, they'd be a bunch of stiffs.
I mean, there's nobody's on that team really catching the football for them.
No, you're right. You're right.
So, I mean, this is what I would also do. Dan Quinn is just as good a coach defensively as Todd Bowles is. And they both have Super Bowls. They both know what they're doing on defense. If you don't think pressure's coming tomorrow night, you would be mistaken, because the Redskins have the linebackers to get that done. They got some pretty damn good players up there, and that guy knows what he's doing. Be prepared, Xander. You're going to see false fronts. You're going to see motion moving defensive coverages that after post snap, you're going to see a lot of different looks in what you're seeing here with this defensive football team.
You think Quinn's that good, huh? Comparable to Bowles? Yes,
I do. As a coordinator.
Yeah, I know he's good. I mean, look, I know he does. He does do a nice job, but
he's sensational, man. And by the way, Bobby Wagner once again is on pace for 150 tackles.
Dude, that dude's insane at 34 years old. Playing that physical linebacker position. I mean, that's unbelievable how good he's playing.
How about this, man? Frankie Louvu, the kid from Carolina.
Yeah, he's good.
He's on pace for 110 tackles. And you got another linebacker in here, that's a safety, who's on pace for 115 tackles. The one thing that they've really improved on, Xander, has been their tackling. They've improved a ton. And by the way, Dante Fowler Jr., I think that's the kid from Jacksonville who played at Jacksonville. He's got 9 sacks. I mean, bro, he can get home. That kid can play, man. That guy is a good football player. And right now, look at him, man. I mean, he's on pace for 15 sacks this year right now, man. I mean, make no mistake about it. You know what I mean?
He was a Gator. Was he a Gator guy?
Oh, he was a Gator guy. Okay.
Was he?
No, I don't know.
Yeah, he was a Gator guy. I was going to say, I thought I recognized that name. Wow, 3rd overall he was selected.
He's a good football player.
Yeah. Wow. Look, they got a good team. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see, how the Birds go up. I do think this is going to be you're going to learn a lot about our team tomorrow. I do think I'm almost at a point, Sills, where I welcome adversity in games where it's like, I don't even want to blow the Commanders out tomorrow. I get it. I do. I don't mean it like that. I'd love to blow them out, but I mean, this team, I want to see this team in more circumstances that force them to evolve and show that they can win in multiple ways, because I think it's going to teach them more, and I think it's going to set them up better for late in the year. I mean, if you're going to blow out every team, you're going to get to the end. The minute you're in a tight game or you're behind a score, you don't know what to do. Right. So I think these next couple games are a good chance for this team to learn how to win different. And I think that's arguably one of the biggest advantages for the Birds in this game is that, and you made fun of me for the point. I don't think you understood what I was trying to say. The Eagles have been winning, right?
Yes.
For years. They know how to win. And I'm not even just talking about past Eagles. I'm talking about this Jalen Hurts-led team with Nick Sirianni. They have had 3.5 seasons now of winning football games.
Yep.
Winning is a culture, is a habit, is a lifestyle. You know that. You played at Miami, dude. You don't accept losses. Now, I think the Eagles have more of that in their culture and in their organization, that if something goes wrong in this game or they get down by a couple scores, I think the Eagles are much more will be much more suited to handle that type of setback. I really do. And if the Commanders don't, it'd be interesting to see if they can answer that call, because they haven't really had to do it yet other than a Hail Mary over the Bears, which was lucky as hell.
Absolutely. Let's do the super chats here, because we got the guys coming up here at the bottom of the hour too. Our battle royale.
Yeah, I'm looking
as we like to call it. Mark Holmes hasn't surrendered yet, so we'll be there with him.
If I know anything about Mark Holmes, he won't surrender.
No,
he will come in.
I like Mark.
I'm a big Mark fan.
Me too, man. All right.
Mark does good work, man. I mean, he posts a lot of shit. I understand the YouTube grind. Mark does the YouTube grind well. Dak Prescott, $2. Thank you, Dak. Nick better than my coach. Yeah, agreed.
He is?
Yeah.
He's not more accomplished, that's for sure.
No, he's not, but he's also hasn't been doing it nearly as long. I mean, shit.
Okay.
Mike McCarthy's got how many years as a coach?
I think
15 years?
17.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's got to be close to
17.
20. Yeah. Christopher Darker, appreciate you, brother. There's something to say about a leader of men. Our dream team absolutely tanked because there was no cohesion. The players love Nick. I agree.
Okay.
I mean, you know.
I never said that they don't like the coach.
Yeah, but I do think that matters, right? I mean, I think it does matter.
I think it matters because they like him because he's winning. I mean, at the end of the day, you don't care if you like.
I don't know, man. I don't know about that.
You think they'd like Nick? You think they'd like Bill Belichick in New England?
No.
Okay. Well, does that really matter then?
No, it doesn't.
You're professional football players.
They might not have liked Bill, but they felt like they had a chance to win a Super Bowl, so they listened to Bill. They respected Bill.
That's the coach I want.
I don't have a problem with you saying that. I think that's fair.
I want the coach who helps me do that. Okay.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's fair.
We're professionals here.
That's fair. Connor says, Connor, appreciate it, brother. What's going on, guys? Much love from Liverpool, UK. Love it, man. Worldwide, Jacob. Thank you, man. Big Birds fan. You guys keep me up to date with the best Eagles news and content. Go Birds. Go Birds, brother. Appreciate it, man.
Hey, Connor, I'll tell you this, man. The NFL is spreading their wings out. They're also going to be trying to play games in Australia in 2026. I know they play them in England, now in Germany as well. So, I mean, Liverpool, too, home of the Beatles. Let's go.
Good stuff there. Abe, who gets the credit? Players, Sirianni, Howie? Collective, I think. It's a collective.
You can have a general manager bring in the best players on the planet, or you think they are the best players, but if you don't have a coach that puts them in the proper place, especially in the NFL, I think that all goes hand in hand, man. I really do. I don't think.
Well, I would rank that 1 players, 2 Sirianni, 3 Howie. That would be my ranking.
Yeah,
because like you said, you can equip a team with the greatest players on earth. Yep. You know, if you don't manage them, if you don't put them in the right spots, if the players don't play good, I mean, all those things don't matter. So I'm not saying Howie hasn't done a good job. He's definitely done his job at a high level. But I think when it comes to credit, I mean, I think players and then Sirianni and then Howie. That would be my take.
Gotcha.
Doesn't mean I'm right, but that's my take. Ramir checks in. They told him he was traded before the game. Oh, that's with Zach. I think they did mention that. And then
I thought he was told in the
I don't know. I think that's why he was playing with so much emotion that game. And then he got a touchdown, right? Didn't he?
But didn't they tell? Okay, they told him before the game and all,
I don't know. I don't remember it off the top of my head. I'm not gonna lie. I don't remember exactly how it played out with Zach.
Well, it wasn't handled well. If that's either way, before or after, that's not a way you fire.
Yeah, here goes another one on Ertz. It's criminal that Ertz is still producing and not playing for the Eagles. He's like 12 catches from the franchise reception leader. Criminal. Yeah, he is.
I want to give Xander credit there for that. I think they did learn a little bit on how to handle some of the veteran guys that have had an impact on that franchise. And by the way, I think if you look at the way they've handled Shady and the way they've handled Deshaun Jackson over the last couple of years too, I think that goes to what you said there, Xander, in this whole Ertz deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Yale's right. I don't think he played all that well out there at Arizona too. I thought he was okay.
He didn't, but I like him as a player. Joey B, good to see you, Joey B. Love Joey B, man.
Way to go, man. All right, Xander. This could be hold on. Let me get this here. Long day tomorrow. It's gonna be. It'll be a long day,
bro. I'm looking forward to the long day tomorrow. I'm looking forward to talking sports.
Hey, I can't wait for tomorrow, man. Dude, it's gonna be a great game.
We're gonna win tomorrow. And you're gonna have to eat crow, as you just pointed out in the first hour. Tomorrow's a crow day, everybody.
It'll be a 30-year first for Big Sills. I am officially dubbing it of Crow Day. If you guys beat them tomorrow, it'll be a Crow Day. It will be because it will be a big win.
30 helpings of crow this year alone.
That happening. I don't remember any of that because I live in the Big Sills world here. Hey, man. Xander, great stuff, my friend. You and John are killing it with your Wonderlic words and shit. And all that. You guys, those famous, fabulous words that John uses at a press conference. I look it up, man. All that. Anyway, Hoss, tomorrow, Birds 365. Then we're going to have the pre and post game show and the halftime show, the post game. Holy cow, Xander's going to be going till 3:30 in the morning tomorrow. And
yeah, then I'm right back up Friday morning to do it all again on Friday on Birds 365. By the way, one other thing I'll plug is normally our Thursday night show is This Week in Pro Football with Pat Callahan. That's not going to be tomorrow night because we have the pregame show. I can't produce that show with everything going on. So that show will be tonight, Wednesday night, This Week in Pro Football, coming up right after the National Football Show at 6 p.m. We'll have Sal Palantonio. We will have, I'm blanking on we have a Commanders reporter for ESPN. John Keim will join the show. And then, a couple other guys that we normally have in the middle. So looking forward to the show tonight. Make sure you guys tune in, check it out, and drop a comment for Pat over on there. Ryan, who the fuck is Pat Callahan? Pat's show is not owned by JAKIB. I'll say that to everybody. That show has been around for 25 years, actually, 23 years. And he used to air it on the radio stations in Philly. And then he syndicated it here on JAKIB the last 3 years.
It's a good show, man. I like it.
It's good. It's different than our style of JAKIB content, but it's a good show, man. He does a good job.
It is. Make sure you pass that along. I really have great respect for what he does. Xander, great stuff, my friend. We'll catch you tomorrow.
All right. Good stuff, Sills. Thank you, everybody.
All right, folks. Make sure you hit the like button. We have Battle Royale with Mark Holmes from the Cowboys. Philly 500 will join us. Hit the like button. Keep it here, National Football Show.
If you missed any of today's show on the JAKIB Media channel, listen to the podcast on your way home. Available on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify.
He's blocked well and tries to cut through the middle. Oh!
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on Sports Grid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on Sports Grid.
Score and save in southeastern PA and Delaware with Colony Pools this football season, and let the experts close your pool with a custom Merlin safety cover in green for the birds. And if you join our Winter Watch team, we'll give you another 20% off, and Colony Pools will handle it all. Keep your tiles on your pool, not in your pool. Fly with Colony right now, birds fans. Visit flywithcolony.com.
I get scared sometimes.
Of a lot of things.
Joining in.
Decisions.
The dark.
The dark.
But I once heard someone say,
But as I always say,
it's okay to be afraid.
as long as you face the fear.
And keep moving forward.
Wherever you are in life, count on the name trusted in insurance for over 80 years. Independence Blue Cross.
Hi everybody, my name's Jason Lombardi. I'm an inspector at DryTech. At DryTech we offer three major services, the first one being basement waterproofing. The second service we offer is foundation and structural repairs. And then the third service that we offer is mold remediation. If you feel you are having a waterproofing issue, give DryTech a call or check us out online.
Heading down the shore, have a ball once more.
Here, imaginations run wild and time stands still. Because here, you can find the best of the Jersey Shore, all on one 5-mile island. So leave the old you behind and get lost in the woods.
Wild, wild, wildwood day.
Plan your stay in the Wildwoods today.
EAGLES, Eagles.
Big Sills National Football Show. Please hit the like button, guys. We're going to have Battle Royale coming up here in a minute with our friends Mark Holmes and Philly 500. Interesting on how this thing's going to shake out. By the way, playoff picture before we get those guys on here. We kind of broached it a little bit yesterday. Please hit that like button, by the way. Guys have been great with it. We appreciate it here. Let's see here. Best segment on this show. You guys like that. I know. I got to hand it to Mark. Mark does a great job with his content and on his network. And right now, personally, I think there's probably more content for Mark than he's ever had before in his entire career covering the Cowboys. And I'll tell you why. The Cowboys are a story when they're great. The Cowboys are a story, an even bigger story when they suck. Because that team today, I mean, there's no question about it that you have great content. What you don't want is you don't want a 7-8 team. Okay? They're going to be starting over. By the way, I gotta bring this up before I get one thing here on the playoff picture here, but do you want to hear something that what Mark has to deal with? By the way, Philly 500 is going to join us too. So how about this? Mark's Jerry Jones paid Dak Prescott this year $60 million in salary and another $80 million check in a signing bonus. This calendar year, Dak Prescott made $140 million. Why is that important? Jerry Jones bought the Cowboys for $154 million in 1989. The price of the Cowboys is what he almost paid Dak Prescott. And Prescott's finished for the rest of the year. And I think, right, they should shut him down. What are they playing for? I'll say one more thing about this, and then we'll bring Mark in. We'll do the playoff picture later. That was one of the worst rosters I've seen a Dallas Cowboy team have, even since the 1-15 team. I mean, look, one thing they did well, they pass rushed. They did a great job last week, pass rushing. But again, playing the run, defending the pass, the mental errors. I mean, Cooper Rush was on a better team when he went 4-1. That was a better team. I mean, you're not going anywhere with 46 yards passing. That's like 1929 football. You're just not going anywhere. By the way, guys, please hit the like button here, and let's bring our friend in, and we'll get Philly 500 coming up here in a second, but let's bring in Mark Holmes here, and hopefully he's not hammered too bad. Mark, hey, I thought you'd wave the white. Hey, man. Yeah, hey, I think you deserve it. I think you deserve it, brother.
You know, I went to Playmakers.
Okay, how was it?
It was nice. It was nice. They're like, who? I said, hey, I'm Mark Holmes from JAKIB Sports Report. Who?
Dude, he is the worst at getting back to me. I apologize, dude. That I did try, and I reached out to him. Man, nice. Get this. When I had him on my show the other week, about 2 weeks ago, when I had him on, I texted him a month out from that. And then he texted me like 2 days before. Mm-hmm. So he usually gets back with me about a month later because he does so much shit. So
he's a busy man. He's a busy man.
Was it a good place? Where is it? In Valley Ranch?
I don't know. I had a friend of ours driving us. He took us by there. It's not far from Frisco. So it's kind of like in between the two of them and things. It's like a really nice sports bar. I love the way they have television stuff on there. The bar is down the middle of it. He actually has a blogging studio that's there too, so that way he can keep down the noise and stuff. But yeah,
because he if I'm not mistaken, he's got a YouTube show too, right?
Yeah, he's just started that. He's on Tuesday nights about 8 o'clock Eastern and stuff. So I'm always on there checking him out. So yeah, definitely.
Mark, what are you talking to Cowboy fans about?
Stepping away from the ledge. You know what? It's actually probably the best thing that what's happening right now, because see, Stephen Jones has always had his battle cry of, we won 36 games over the last 3 years, and that's right there in production with the Kansas City Chiefs. And see, and so I think that they got high on their supply where they believe that whatever they're going to do, they're still going to be relevant. Right now, it is so bad, and I'm going to tell you how bad it was. When I was first looking at the tickets for the game for the Eagles-Cowboys, level decks were about $400 a seat. For Monday night's game right now, the upper level deck seats are as low as $89 at AT&T.
Wow.
Yeah, think about that. $89. And there were a lot of empty seats there at the stadium this week. And, I actually, I'm a homer. I'm a Dallas Cowboy homer and stuff. But I looked at things differently now, and I realized the mirage that you have about being in Dallas. When you go and you see AT&T Stadium, it's beautiful. The sound system is loud and up in your face. You've got the big television screen and all of the, all the bells and whistles and things that keep you, entertained. But what you're actually there for, you don't get. It's everything but football. And so for this thing to kind of implode the way it is, where now they're talking about flexing the Cowboys out of some of the primetime games.
Of course.
That has to start being.
That team's not watchable right now.
Right. And so that's where it needs. I'm hoping that it's a wake-up call for the Joneses to realize we can't just keep doing this like this. People don't believe anything Jerry Jones has to say, and they're sick of it right now. So the best thing is they keep getting mollywopped. And congratulations to the Eagles. We had actually, we actually played well on defense starting early. And then all of a sudden, Cooper Rush, everybody thought Cooper Rush was going to be the savior. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's do this. And I'm sure he's drinking. I'm sure he's drinking joy juice right now because I think it's look at this here. Let's bring in Philly 500 here, and
Cowboys tears. That's right, right here. Mark is so hammered and gone that he doesn't know what an eagle and a chicken. He doesn't know the difference between an eagle and a chicken is. It's really pathetic.
Hey, so really how do you feel after that ass beating the Eagles put on the Cowboys, Philly?
I feel great. I mean, how can you not feel great? I mean, is it our Super Bowl? No. Do we have work to do? Yeah. It's nice to put that crappy team out of their misery. It's a beautiful thing. But I mean, we knew that the Eagles were going to beat them. So it's always nice to beat Dallas, especially in Dallas. But we got work to do. We're focused on real teams. Not that crappy cellar dweller.
How about this? Wait a minute here, Mark. How about this though? First half, they had 5 sacks.
That's what I was going to get to.
Hurts had 2 turnovers, some missed throws. I mean, as bad as Dallas was, they're 28th in pass defense heading into that game. It's probably worse now. I mean, any concerns with him holding onto the ball and also taking those sacks?
No, I mean, you don't like to see it, but obviously the Eagles' game plan going in had a lot to do with Thursday night football game. I believe the reason you didn't see Barkley get the ball that much in the first half was because the Eagles were really trying not to overuse him this game because of the Thursday night game. Now, I think the mistake was to come out throw instead of run the other running backs. It would have been nice to see Gainwell get carries and nice to see Shipley get carries. But instead, they went to, we're going to throw. I mean, obviously, we know how you beat Dallas. You run against them. So I think by the way that they came out and, didn't play to the way you need to beat Dallas was why you had those things happen in the first half.
Mark, surely as that game was going on for you, I mean, what were you thinking when you were watching the quarterback play from Cooper Rush and I mean, and then get this. Then they put that stiff in Trey Lance. I mean, it went from bad to worse. I mean, doesn't it? They're tanking now, right?
I don't think that they intended to tank, but they've been forced to tank. You know, my thought was the whole time is this is what a lot of you guys wanted. Dak sucks, man. Cooper Rush is a better manager of the game, or Trey Lance and his legs. You got less than 70 yards passing. You got a couple of fumbles. You got an interception. You know, it's just like you see what a net quarterback is, and you realize.
Mark, you paid that guy $140 million this year. The Cowboys paid him $140, and he was bad even when he was healthy.
Okay, you hold on, stop right there, because you even pointed it out. You even pointed it out. This team's roster sucks. Cooper Rush was awful, but you know what? Cooper Rush was probably about the same guy he was when he played a few years ago, and the roster was better. How many guys on this roster besides Micah Parsons, Overshown, and Tyler Smith are you looking and saying, I'd like to have them on my team right now? You don't have a freaking running game. Your wide receivers, when they are finally open, the sun's in their freaking eyes. You've literally done everything possible to be as bad as you can be. And, you know, we suck. I'm glad you beat a bad team, Philly, but I wouldn't feel that smug about it because they got to your quarterback. If we had any offense whatsoever,
you see this? You see this?
Zeke doesn't fumble on the goal line, if Cooper Rush doesn't fumble on the 17-yard line, it might have been a different game.
If Dak didn't choke every playoffs, right? If Dak Prescott didn't choke every time he was
is the only thing that's kept this team relevant.
Listen, Dak Prescott has stunk this year, and he has proven that he cannot
the whole
put a team on his back.
Stinks.
And but so does he.
We are literally
without.
Please tell me a category besides kicking that this team is good on. And
you have a really good field goal kicker. Your field goal kicker is lights out. I think it's great.
And until we get him to kick from the 20-yard line,
I didn't use
the
sun as an excuse in the eyes of the players. You didn't see me say, hey, we threw the interception because Hurts couldn't see because of the sun. That came from the loser first.
Yeah,
right? He brought it up as an excuse. Excuse after excuse. You can't.
But wait a minute, Mark.
I'm not even trying to.
Mark, get this.
You shouldn't.
Here's the one thing that I have a criticism for the Eagle guys and how they're looking and how they're playing here. Combined record of not 8-28 they have played over the last couple of weeks here. And to sit there and try to crow over like, well, you know what? We've been winning a lot of football games. And yet I look at that and I go, these next 3 games are going to tell me more about the Eagles than these past 5 games are, because now you have Washington on Thursday night, who had the 4th-ranked offense in the NFL. By the way, I mean, you're talking about a team also has the 3rd-ranked passing attack in the NFL in Washington. Yeah. The Eagles are 20th. I mean, you've got then on the other side of that. So check it out. You got the 4th-ranked offense Thursday. You've got the 12th-ranked offense on the Rams. And then you got the number 1 overall ranked offense with Baltimore. Philly, you're going to find out who you guys are coming up here in these next 3 weeks, I think. Don't you think?
I agree. Oh, absolutely. I think the next 3 weeks are going to be extremely telling for this team. There's no question about it. If you go in and let's say you beat Washington, Rams, and Baltimore, I'm going to feel really good about this team. But, I think the next 3 weeks are the real test. There is no doubt about it.
Did you actually think the Cowboys were a test with Cooper Rush and Trey Lance?
No, nobody said that. I just said the real test is this week. That was just an appetite.
I told you you'd win 5 games this year.
You actually that's the over. I don't think we're going to get there right now.
Oh my God! You think that? Hey,
I said Dallas was
I'll
the
be
third
honest.
place team
The Giants game.
Dak was
I'm looking at the schedule. The Giants game may be the only thing that they have a chance at, and I'm not
they
even
should
sure that
flex that out of Thanksgiving. They should flex that game out of Thanksgiving.
I want you to understand the Cowboys. You can take any of their 64 years, and they have never played as bad as they have right now.
I
they're rushing the football worse than the 1960 team right now.
Yeah, no, this looks like the 1-15 shit. And
tried to tell you.
Hey, let me ask you this then, Philly.
Yeah.
If just as an Eagle and as a guy who can't stand that franchise, I would trade Michael Parsons away. I think the guy, in my opinion, I think he's a two-dimensional player, not a three-dimensional player. I don't think he likes to play to run, nor do I think he wants to play to run. He wants to make TFLs, and he wants to be a Hollywood movie star, and he wants to be a sack guy. I mean, quite frankly, I don't think he's a very good teammate on top of that. Wouldn't you try to get as much as you possibly can? Because, Mark, how many holes do you think? I mean, there's certain teams that are players away from being a Super Bowl team. You are probably a defensive line away. You're an retooled old line. You're a back. You got a number 2 wide out you got to find. Why not go get some equity and get some draft picks, Mark?
You need some edge rushers too.
Get some picks. You know, the one thing the Joneses are pretty decent at, that's at least drafting and finding some guys. Hey, by the way, you were right. You were right about Overshawn. He's a fucking good player, man.
Him and Cooper Beebe are about the only 2 bright spots from this year.
And your field goal kicker. You have a good field
He's a good. Wouldn't you trade him though?
You know, I'm going to say his tone. I think he's actually learned. He's been forced to grow up the last few weeks. You know, it used to be we're hanging out with Big Play Slay and I'm everybody's buddy and we're yucking it up. He's getting beat up really bad in the media right now, and everything he's saying. Yeah, when you're winning, you know, everything's all shits and giggles. When you're losing, everything that you say gets scrutinized. And I think that he's getting beat down, and I think the Cowboys have gotten to him a little bit and said, you need to slow your roll on some of this stuff. I don't know if it'll continue into next year. If it is end up being that Bill Belichick comes, I can't see that coexisting with the Bill Belichick style run team. But then again, I don't see Bill Belichick working with Jerry Jones.
Let me go over here to Philly 500 here, and I brought this up here. We had Joe Theismann on yesterday, and we were talking to Joe Theismann about coordinators. And this kind of goes to Mark's comments about Kellen Moore. And I'm going to make this proclamation. You tell me if you think I'm wrong here, Philly. I think they completely hired the wrong coordinator for Jalen Hurts. And I think it should have been Cliff Kingsbury, and here's why. I don't believe that Kellen Moore has improved the offense passing-wise. The offense is 20th. He's doing a little few things better, but they're a running football team and a defensive football team. Whereas you look at Jaden Daniels, Cliff Kingsbury has turned that guy into a player that's got a 4th-ranked passing offense in pro football, and he has made an impact on him. Let's not forget, I have heard that they had a 3-year contract on the table. He waited out between control, which he wasn't going to ever get in Philadelphia, and he was going to get complete control in Washington. And I think he landed on that. And I think Kellen Moore, I mean, help me if I'm wrong here, Mark, but the only quarterbacks that he's ever coached have been traditional 7-step guys like Dak Prescott and Justin Herbert. And now you're asking him to be a guy who's a dual threat guy. Look at Kingsbury, Philly, Kyler Murray, Patrick Mahomes, Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels. These are all dudes that are dual threat guys that he's had the style that fits him. I think it's taken probably 5 or 6 weeks, don't you think, for Kellen Moore and Jalen to figure it out, because Kellen's never really coached this style, and that's why it's been a bumpy start, but better over the last couple of weeks because they're running it more.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, Kingsbury was very high on my list as probably a lot of people for that offensive corner spot. But I mean, you know, like you said, they're starting to come along now. They're starting to play now. They're figuring it out now. So, you know, I'm not gonna crap on Kellen Moore right now, because I think they're getting better, and I think Hurts is getting better, and the offense is getting better, and this team as a whole is getting better. Let's see where they are in December. Let's see what it looks like in January. You know, to me, it's way too soon. You know,
bro. Well, you can't use this game as any kind of measuring stick, bro. Everybody. I mean, New Orleans blew us out at home, man.
When did I say anything about this game? I just said let's wait till December and January, and then you're like, "Oh, you can't use this game." I didn't say anything about this game.
I'm sorry, I haven't seen you beat. Okay, tell me the quality team that you beat thus far.
Green Bay.
They're up and down.
Oh,
Bro.
you remember Green Bay, who went
Up and
into
down.
Dallas in the playoffs
and I believe that went down to the wire, didn't
it? $60 million Dak Prescott.
You didn't need Dak Prescott this year.
Stunk. No.
You
Green
didn't
Bay
bring
beat you, right? You can't say we didn't have a quality win. Green Bay's a quality win. Well, Bengals, I think, are a
that's
quality
it.
win. Well, what are you talking about?
Okay.
What are you talking about?
Okay, then go ahead and get your rings made. Get your tickets for the Super Bowl.
Wait.
I got it.
Wait, to go down the line here to what Mark is saying here, Philly. Let's here's the teams that have had a 500 record since you've played them this year into week 10, I think it is. Now we're going, no, actually heading into week 11 here. Green Bay's got a winning record. Atlanta's got a winning record.
Mm-hmm.
There's been 2 teams with a winning record going into tomorrow night, and you've only beat one of them. That was Green Bay. That was in week 1.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of these teams, it is. The rest of these teams, what do you make of that? That you really haven't played anybody. And I'm not saying Washington has anybody. So your quality win, you're going with the first game of the year.
See, I think this gets so overrated and overblown. This is what we heard in 2017. You haven't played anybody, but we just went on to win a Super Bowl. I think that you can only play who's on your schedule, okay? And that's it. And the Eagles are playing and going through their schedule. And yeah, Green Bay is a very good team, and they beat them. Have they had a lot of top-notch teams on their schedule so far? No, but you can't hold that against them because they don't have these guys on schedule. We're going to find out what's going on, these next 3 weeks. But also this, there's a lot of teams that are, maybe not the greatest team, but they get in the playoffs and they have home field advantage and they get a bye week. And all that stuff helps you out in those situations. So I think it's overblown. I hear the same thing with Washington. Oh, Washington's not good. They haven't beat anybody. Well, I mean, they're beating who they're supposed to beat on their schedule. I don't know how you hold that against a team. I just don't get it.
Mark, what type of coach do you think you'll have next year?
It doesn't matter.
You know what? It may matter.
You hamstrung it. Mike McCarthy is not the best coach in the NFL. I'm not going to lie to you and say that. But when you literally do what you did, you cut him off at the knees. They literally, if you're a player, are you listening to Mike McCarthy without a contract?
No, I'm not listening to Mike McCarthy, not because of Mike McCarthy. I'm not listening to him because of the power structure, the way. And by the way, there's a lot of me that says that about Philly too and Nick. I'm not really looking at that guy with any kind of autonomy in that locker room. I look at him and I look at Mike McCarthy and I can look at McCarthy and go, if I want anything done, I'm going to go to Jerry Jones. If I want anything done in Philly, I go to Howie. I'm not going to Nick.
Right. So you're hamstrung if you're the coach and the guy coming in. The only way it's going to matter who comes in as a coach if Jerry Jones actually changes what he does. And my only hope is that this season that they don't win another game and they continue to get embarrassed to the point where nobody watches them. Because unless you hit rock bottom, Jerry's not going to change. Stephen Jones is still going to be saying, well, we just had some bad luck with injuries and things. We trust the process and, we'll get this thing right. No, that's bullshit. You need wholesale changes from the head all the way down.
I think Philly's I think he's taking it easy on you because I think he actually feels sorry for that team and that.
Bro,
I don't feel sorry for
them. I'll be honest with you, man.
Or you're making them irrelevant in your life right now.
No, it was crazy. No, bro, this is true fact. I'm here in Dallas. There are tons and tons of Eagle fans. And, they didn't rub our face. I literally think that Eagle fans felt bad for us. I sat next to an Eagle fan flying back home, and she said, it'll get better.
No.
And I'm like, what? I'm like, no, it won't.
I don't feel sorry for him at all. I don't feel sorry for him.
Shit, I thought they were going to put a 50 burger on you.
Why get involved when they're doing a perfect job tearing themselves up? He's sitting there crushing his team. He's criticizing his team. I don't need to intervene in that. Let him do it. I don't feel sorry. But, truth is Dallas is irrelevant. Dallas is a bottom feeder right now. And for the past 2 weeks, we've been focused on Washington. Listen, I could tell you, I haven't gone into a Dallas Cowboys game that I can remember in a long time, where I was looking at the other team after them. I wasn't even focused on Dallas. It was like, Dallas, Washington.
And you shouldn't have.
That's the truth. Yeah, and that's the truth.
Have. And it
Dallas
makes me wonder why
fun.
you guys don't even need me on the show anymore. I mean, it's like, why bring me on in here?
Oh, no.
It's not even funny anymore.
You're under contract.
Wait.
No damn contract.
He's under contract.
I think it's perfect because I disagree with Philly on this. The Cowboys are relevant when they suck, and the Cowboys are relevant when they don't suck. There's a reason you have the highest rated TV games every freaking year. It doesn't, your record doesn't matter because you know why? You've got an owner that's P.T. Barnum.
That's right.
He cares about the circus. He doesn't give a shit about the game. He cares about the circus.
Still stinks. Dallas still stinks.
Yes, we do.
You know, to me,
they've literally taken the fun out of the game.
When you take Dak Prescott away from Mark's not the same. He just deflates, right? Because it's not about Dallas; it's about Dak Prescott. See, if Dak was in there, it's a whole different story. But now,
if Dak was in there,
Dak's
we might have some kind of a chance.
You would have lost. You still would have lost.
I would bet you would have scored more than 6 damn points.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you there. You probably scored 13. That's about it. And Mark does owe me an apology, by the way. I just
you shit,
yeah,
mother.
You owe me an apology, and I want it.
No, bro. All the damn video,
all right?
All the videos you've done with me eating a glizzy and all that shit. Screw you, Philly. Screw you.
You owe me. I can't help it that you have feeding time 3-4 times every stream. Listen.
I know you're not talking about somebody.
I don't need to front of people. At least I'm smart. At least I'm smart enough to know that nobody wants to watch me chew. So, figure it out. Listen, Mark made a big deal over the summer. Over the summer, Mark made a huge deal. He had stills. He was having streams about this. Complete meltdown. How dare Philly 500 go on a Sileo show and say that the Eagles secondary is better than the Cowboys secondary? How dare you say that?
I haven't seen all my secondary.
The Eagles secondary.
My guys have been injured all season, and we've got no pass rush. And I dare say that our secondary is probably the best thing we got going on.
No, your pass rushing is.
Your kicker.
Pass rushing that only when Mike has been back this past week.
The kicker.
Mark, you know what? People in here are saying you're not the same, man. I mean, it's like you're defeated and you're like surrendering, and I mean,
Sills, how can I defend? Okay, you know what? I am the biggest homer there is out there. What is there out there for me to defend? Please.
So tell me what a day of content is with Cowboys
hitting new lows.
For Mark. Are you already talking about the April draft now?
No, I'm not talking about the draft yet. I'm still dealing with.
I can tell you. I can tell
season right now and how inept Jerry Jones is. I'll be honest with you. I'm actually worried about Jerry Jones's health because when you start seeing him post game, he does not look well. And the way people are going after him right now, I hope he does not have a heart attack in one of these interviews and things. This has to be killing him, seeing this team being this bad. I think they figured that they were doing a soft rebuild. They weren't going to do a lot. They're going to try and clear out some contracts and things. But I think they still thought they would be relevant.
You've won 4 postseason games in 30 years.
And who do you think you need to blame right there?
The Bengals have won more postseason games.
Here's the problem is it's the curse of Jimmy Johnson, man. Jerry has forever tried to do this to say it was me, and it's been an utter failure. You can't look. You brought in decent coaches. You can't say Bill Parcells wasn't the winner. You can't. And you can look at it and say they were headed in the right direction when they brought in T.O. They brought in Terry Glenn and things. They actually had 13 Pro Bowls. Unfortunately, the Giants beat us in. And since that time, the guy who said winning is everything, we must win, we will win, now it's kind of like we're going to do more with less. I don't know what happened to his balls.
Hey, Philly. If you're Dak,
it's great.
If you're Dak, Why do you want to stay in Dallas?
I wouldn't.
Just for the money?
I'd be out of there. I'd be out of there. And
I actually have an answer. I have an answer for that.
Okay, well, wait, Mark, how about this? How many years do you think you are away from being an NFC contender, not an NFC East contender, but an NFC contender to win the NFC? How about this? Getting to the game. You haven't been to the game in 30 years. How far away do you think you are? Can I tell you? Let me tell you. I think you're half a decade away from being maybe 3 to 5 years away from getting to that point if you do everything right.
It all depends on what happens in the front office. If we continue to do this stuff.
So you're hoping he dies?
No, I'm not hoping that he dies. I'm hoping that he realizes that he's not the guy for the job anymore. That when Mickey Loomis, who's 66, is 20 years younger than his ass is, and he looks like he's past his prime.
Why don't you hire Howie Roseman?
No.
Howie's got his own problems.
Howie Roseman's contract is coming up, and by the way,
but now here's where I can say, at least, if they were to go ahead and get people in here that knew how to work with the cap and knew how to
Howie Roseman, his contract
and would
is
let
up.
coaches
Coach. Wait, Mark. Jeffrey Lurie's kid is going to be the next general manager of that football team. Okay? He's going to be the next general manager. Mm-hmm. And Howie Roseman, he could be like a Theo Epstein. When Theo Epstein won the World Series with the Red Sox, and then he went on to win it with the Cubs. Mm-hmm. He could be somebody to go in there and deal with that salary cap, because one of the issues that the Cowboys have had is not players. It's been the money and how they've distributed the money.
Yeah.
Now the question is, would Howie leave? Because Philly, you want to make your name, you do it somewhere else. You don't just do it in one spot. You go somewhere else and you do it like Theo Epstein did, because again, that kid, Julian Lurie, is going to get that job as general manager. They're grooming him for that job.
Not anymore.
What do you mean not anymore?
Okay.
Oh, no. Howie's got – I'm convinced Howie has compromising photos or something on Lurie. I think Howie's going to end up with partial ownership when this thing is all said and done.
Well, how about this?
If they win the Super Bowl this year, I would say that's true.
How about this? If he wins a Super Bowl this year, and they have second Super Bowl, and his contract is up, wouldn't you put yourself on the open market to see how much money you could make? You might become the highest paid general manager in pro sports, not just in the NFL, in pro sports. If you win another one, and the way you construct those contracts, why wouldn't you see and go to the highest bidder and have complete autonomy to do it?
I don't think Howie's going to go anywhere. And I think, to be honest, I think it would be foolish, because I think if he goes somewhere else, he's not going to have the control he has here. Jeffrey Lurie, say what you want about him, he lets Howie go out and make the moves and do things that are, things that teams would never do. Cut a quarterback that you just signed a huge extension to eat $35 million. There are things that Howie can do because of Jeffrey Lurie that you couldn't do anywhere else. So I don't think it's greener on the other side. I think Howie is going to end up staying. I don't see Howie going anywhere.
How about this one, Mark?
Mm-hmm.
If Bob Kraft called, because they have a great affiliation with that Patriots, and if Bob Kraft called him and said, name your number, I'll give you complete control over the franchise to run the New England Patriots. And the Patriots have been one of the greatest franchises at hiring the right people. How do you not command a $25 million? Howie Roseman, get this. Philadelphia's not going to pay him $25 million to be general manager of that team. The Patriots or the Carolina Panthers of David Tepper, or Jacksonville's or Minnesota's Ziggy Wilf, or Shade Khan, those guys they're going to ante up that money, man. You put him on the open market, Howie Roseman, $25 million.
Cowboys won't, though. I can tell you that right. They won't ante up that money.
Well, the Cowboys won't, because you know why? They're still stuck in 1990s.
Mm-hmm.
Philly, for you, Thursday night, this game here against Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels has outplayed Hurts so far this year. Yes, do you agree or not agree?
Say that again.
Do you believe Jaden Daniels has outplayed Jalen Hurts in the first 10 games? He's a rookie, mind you.
I guess so. Yeah. I think he's been really good. I think he's rookie of the year so far. I'll say it like that.
Have you been more impressed with Vic or with Kellen on what they brought to the team when it comes to coordinators?
Vic, definitely Vic. I mean, I think if you look at what they're doing with this defense, they're way ahead of. I mean, they're way ahead of schedule. I thought that, the young guys would come and play, struggle. I didn't think they would be playing as well as they are so early. So I think you got to give Vic Fangio that.
Now I'm going to go to you here, Mark. I want you owe me an apology now.
Oh, fuck you.
You owe me an apology now.
Oh,
you ready?
No.
Say it with me. Say it with
shit.
me. Lazy Smith sucks.
No, Mozzie actually is not that bad. Mozzie had a few sacks. Look,
dude,
he's not the worst defensive. Here's the thing:
he's not the worst. What pick did you draft him in? Jordan Davis is not playing well, and I would still keep his fat ass on the team. Okay. By the way,
he's got. Hold on.
Really, I'm not picking his 50-year option.
Just hang on for a second.
I'm not picking Jordan Davis.
So Dan, hold on, Dan. I've had to keep this in my back pocket. He's got 20 combined tackles, 13 solos, 7 assists, 3 tackles for a loss. Is that awful?
When you're 30th against the run, yeah.
But he's not the only problem on that defense there, bro.
Okay. When you're
seriously,
tackles 5 yards down the field because they're blowing you off the ball.
How are your numbers?
So wait a minute, get this. Hey, I've got.
I realize why you hate him so much, man.
30 tackles on the worst run defense in pro football. Congratulations to you. I'm on a shitty defense and I'm making plays on a shitty team.
He's not that.
Yeah,
bad.
making plays 8 yards down the field.
Yeah, he's a free safety. I didn't know Mozzie Smith was a free safety. I thought he was a DT.
I'm on Mozzie Sileo now.
Oh, wait. No, hey, guess what?
What?
Hey, Philly, guess what? Do you know who Michael Phelps is? He's that swimmer dude, right? He's got a backstroke. Have you seen Mozzie Smith's backstroke? He goes like this, man. He goes like this. Come on now, dog. Hey, Mike Zimmer's been a complete colossal disaster.
Well, yes, and also we've had a lot. I mean, we've literally been decimated by injuries. We've lost 5
stinking before the injuries.
No, we lost 5 defensive ends, bro.
You were stinking
5
before
defensive
the
ends when we were thin to begin with.
The injuries are a result of.
Oh, don't give me. Oh,
you're not
stop,
stinking
man.
because of the injuries.
No, if you lose your best player, you lose your best player for 5 weeks in Micah Parsons.
Mm-hmm.
You end up losing your edge rushers, D-Law.
You mean
Philly's getting tired of I think he's getting tired of bringing the sledgehammer on you.
Like I said, you don't need, you guys.
No. Are you crazy?
You've grown up.
Wait a minute.
It's time for the baby birds to fly.
Can I tell you what you are, Mark? Can I tell you
What's
exactly what you've become to Philly fans now? See,
the
Philly
punching
fans
bag.
now, wait, Philly fans look at you and they go, good. Suffer, you son of a bitch. Hey,
Is that what I'm here for?
Hey, by the way, no. Well, wait a minute. Don't be a baby here, because you would be doing the same shit to him.
Screw you. I show up every week.
You do.
Would you show up if your team was this fucking sorry every week?
For you, I would. For you, I would, because you
know
why?
You're not going to go on anybody else's channel, and you're not going to leave your damn basement.
Wait a minute. No. I would go on yours. I would listen. I don't do that shit. I don't do other shows.
That's what I was told.
No,
you wouldn't do anybody else's.
I do not. But I would do your 2 shows because you know why? You're here with me all the time, and I love you 2 guys because you 2 guys are passionate about what you do. However, I love it that you give Philly fans so much love in the fact that you're fucking suffering like you have 8 enemas that have been delivered to you this week. You look so constipated right now. It's so, and look at Philly. He's just like, you know,
I mean, how can I not enjoy this?
He doesn't have anything else to say because look at him. All he's doing is
He doesn't have to. You can just look at
I'm
me
just
sitting here
enjoying
crying.
it. I'm just enjoying this. I mean, this is like, you know, I wait all year for this. Are you kidding? Usually this happens in
8 more
December.
freaking
This
games.
is great.
Did Dak Prescott quit on the Cowboys this year?
No, he did not. He's having surgery right now.
I can't say. I mean, based upon what they said the injury is, it's hard to say that he quit. I won't
take
go
that.
that
You know
far.
what? I said it earlier. I'll take it back too because now that I know that he's
But-
going in,
but-
was ripped off the bone.
But they already stunk with him though, and they stunk. You know, when the season started.
But
they
that's
stunk.
not all Dak Prescott's
From the
fault,
get-go.
bro. Okay,
Well,
you know,
but you don't put any
if
of it.
Cowboy
That's
fans
my
say
main-
the only
that's my
problem
main
we
problem.
have is quarterback.
That's my main problem with Mark. It's nothing
Oh,
is
my
ever
God.
on Dak. Ever.
Can we
ever,
improve the
ever,
quarterback?
after
Sure.
9 years.
But there is nothing in here that
Ever
says
Dak's
this
fault.
team is about winning anything as
never
currently
Dak's
constructed.
fault.
Oh my!
Never his fault. In 9
Hey,
years,
Mark, do you
Dak
still
Prescott,
take
never his
Dak
fault.
over Jalen Hurts?
Right now, I might have to say Jalen Hurts because Jalen Hurts has less miles on him. You know, unfortunately, at this point in Dak Prescott's career,
He has less
He's being-
miles, but he has a bigger bank account. I mean,
they can
wait a
make
minute
it. No,
here.
but here's my thing. If the Cowboys do exactly what they've done right now, Dak Prescott won't make it through 2 more seasons. His body's going to fail him. He's at the point of Tony Romo right now where you have to protect him with an offensive line and you need a fucking running game or else you just threw that money away. You can't sit here and say we're going to do more with less. You know, my buddy Law Nation pointed out something that was, and it's so profound. He said the Cowboys never draft to complement other players. They draft to plug holes, which is the truth. They let guys that are starters go, and we're just going to draft somebody and plug them in to play. And at some point, if you don't draft well, and the Cowboys have not drafted well, as you pointed out, Mozzie Smith, and you got to look at guys like Schoonmaker who can't even get on the field as a number 2 pick. If you don't draft well and you don't get in free agency, this is what you get.
Like an enema. That's what it looks like right now. I mean,
Right now, an enema would probably feel pretty good in comparison.
hey man, I think the Eagles gave you one on Sunday. I mean, hey Philly, I'll tell you,
man.
one more. Couple last ones here for you.
Dak
You get through this. I said this. You get Mark. Tell me if you agree. You get through this next 3-game stretch, and you're 2-1. I think you'll be the team to
Super Bowl
beat the
favorite.
I think you'll be the team to beat the NFC.
Well,
next.
it's
Lions.
going to happen. It will happen then. We're going to win. We will win the next 2 games. We will beat Washington, and then we will go to LA and beat them as always in LA. I have no doubt about it.
You'll be 2-1. Mark, how do you think they get through these next 3 games here? Do you got Washington obviously tomorrow? Do you got the Rams? Hey, the Rams are a good offense too. They're coming back in form. Then you got the number 1 ranked offense.
I think they get 1 or 2.
National Football League in Lamar.
I don't see them beating Baltimore. And Washington, you know, again, that's another team that how many really good teams have they faced just yet? So, I mean, you both are kind of in the same boat. Whoever wins that one, you got to say, okay, that's the legit team. And we'll wait and see. You know, maybe Washington with Jaden Daniels, he's so young, he doesn't know to be afraid. And that's a scary point for the Eagles.
This is what it would look like, and I'll get you guys out of here after this. Here's the AFC. Well, we'll just stick with the NFC. Here's the NFC playoffs right now. Philly, Lions get the bye. Eagles in the 2-hole. Falcons in the 3-hole. The Cards are in the 4-hole. By the way, Jonathan Gann is coaching his ass off out there. Vikings are in the 5-hole. Commanders are in the 6-hole. And you got the Packers, 7. And you got the Rising Niners that are outside at 8. This is how it would look. Packers would go to Philly in the opening round. Commanders would go to the Falcons. That would be a good game. And you would have Vikings and Cardinals. That would be your opening round wild card games. Or be your opening wild card weekend NFL games. So, I mean, Packers and Eagles would be back again. That's the tough. If you look at all the teams right now that are qualifying in the NFC, Philly, The Packers, in my opinion, that'd be the toughest opponent.
That would be the toughest opponent. I agree. But I like it. It's in Philly. You've already beat them once. I'd feel pretty comfortable and confident about that game. So I think the Eagles would win. I think Washington would upset Atlanta. And then what was the other one?
Vikings and Cardinals. So
I think the Cardinals win because Vikings.
It would roll out this way. If Eagles beat the Packers, they'd move on to the divisional round. And you're saying the Commanders would upset the Falcons. So then you'd have another three-peat. You'd have to play the Commanders again, and they'd have to come down to Philadelphia to play. And the winner of Vikings and Cardinals will be the team that ends up playing the Detroit Lions. So the Cardinals, if they win, or the Vikings, it would be Lions. I would say this. I think the Vikings will not win that game. I think the Cardinals will win that game. And I think the Cardinals will play the Lions in the divisional round.
I agree. Yeah.
Well, Mark, I tell you, man,
you're headed for Eagles Lions championship game. I think that's we're on collision course for. So the Eagles need to hang in there and get home field.
And what are you on collision course for, Mark?
The liquor store.
Hey, dude. I feel for you, man. I do. I mean, look at you right now. You're a mess.
He's always looked like that. What are you talking about?
No. Look at his face. He's a mess.
He always looks like that.
Mark, you look hurt like a puppy.
Only when Dak Prescott does something good does he smile.
Hey, Philly didn't want to kick your ass today. He felt so fucking bad.
No more. I can't take it anymore.
What can I say? I can only double moonwalk this guy's ass so many times. You know.
He sucks so bad.
Oh my! I can't, Mark. Honest to God, dude.
We can't. I cannot. We can't complete a pass. We can't run the football. We can't stop the run. The only thing we can do is kick a field goal.
All kidding aside, I cannot believe how bad that Cowboy team looked. I mean, I kept going like this. Holy shit, that's the worst Cowboy team in my lifetime. And that is including the one I was on. I'm telling you, that's the worst team I've ever seen the Cowboys associated with. I mean, when he said he's all in what? The shit house?
Yeah.
All right, Mark.
All in to destroy
Tell the folks how they can get all that.
All because of Dak Prescott. All because of Dak Prescott.
You gave him $140 million in cash.
Guy can't carry shit.
Get this, Philly. Jerry Jones paid $154 for the Cowboys in '89. They gave Dak a check this year for $140. I mean, almost the price that Jones paid for the team. They gave.
And as long as Dak's on their team, as long as he's their quarterback, I do not worry about Dallas ever doing anything in the playoffs.
It's going to be a while, man. Nothing. It's going to be a long road back.
Hey, Mark, not that guy. Tell folks how they can find you, good friend.
Look at a gutter right now because that's about where I am. Drunk, okay? Because
did you say? Wait, did you say Trump?
I said. I'll be in a gutter, drunk. Okay. On Jersey Sports Report.
So you can find me. I'll be in Mark's kitchen. I'll be cooking up some hamburgers, some glizzies. I'm taking over because I now own them. We own them. We own a grill. We own them. Cowboys are nothing. Very.
Yeah, the Cowboy burger tonight, huh?
Find me there. That's right. I've taken over. I've come for your meats, Mark. I told you I'm coming for them meats.
Hey, by the way, make sure you check these two guys out on BetUS as well. These two guys are legends over on BetUS as well.
Don't bet on the Cowboys. Okay, that's the best advice I can give you with BetUS. Don't waste your money on the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Guys, I appreciate it. Thank you guys so much, man. I really appreciate it. You're spectacular. It's one of the great segments of the week for us. And thank you, guys. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, man.
Thank you, Philly.
Sure. Thank you.
Yeah. Holy shit. I give these guys a ton of credit, especially Mark Holmes, man. Holy cow. That dude, man. You see how hey, what am I here for? What am I here for, man? Do me a favor, guys. Hit the like button. We'll reset. Keep it here, National Football Show.
If you missed any of today's show on the JAKIB Media channel, listen to the podcast on your way home. Available on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify.
He's blocked well and tries to cut through the middle. Oh!
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on Sports Grid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on Sports Grid.
Score and save in Southeastern PA and Delaware with Colony Pools this football season, and let the experts close your pool with a custom Merlin safety cover in green for the birds. And if you join our Winter Watch team, we'll give you another 20% off, and Colony Pools will handle it all. Keep your tiles on your pool, not in your pool. Fly with Colony right now, birds fans. Visit flywithcolony.com.
I get scared sometimes.
Of a lot of things.
Joining in,
Decisions,
the dark.
the dark.
But I once heard someone say,
But as I always say,
it's okay to be afraid
as long as you face the fear.
and keep moving forward.
Wherever you are in life, count on the name trusted in insurance for over 80 years. Independence Blue Cross.
Hi everybody, my name's Jason Lombardi. I'm an inspector at DryTech. At DryTech we offer three major services, the first one being basement waterproofing. The second service we offer is foundation and structural repairs. And then the third service that we offer is mold remediation. If you feel you are having a waterproofing issue, give DryTech a call or check us out online.
Heading down the shore. Have a ball once more.
Here, imaginations run wild and time stands still. Because here, you can find the best of the Jersey Shore, all on one 5-mile island. So leave the old you behind and get lost in the woods.
Wild, wild, wildwood.
Plan your stay in the Wildwoods today.
EAGLES, Eagles.
Big Stilts, hit the like button here, guys. Appreciate you guys coming aboard. Thank you guys again. Here are the current odds with MGM for the Super Bowl. Kansas City, number 1. Detroit, number 2. Baltimore, number 3. Buffalo, number 4. The 49ers, number 5. Jesus, criminy. Where the hell are the Eagles? Where are the Eagles? That'd be a great hire, 304. John Gruden to Dallas. It'd be a fabulous hire. John would love that as well. And I think John could work with the Joneses. Where are the Eagles? Oh, here they are, 6. Green Bay, 7. Houston, 8. Minnesota, 9. Pittsburgh, 10. This is MGM, the casino. KC, 1. Detroit, 2. Baltimore, 3. Buffalo, 4. 49ers, 5. Get this. Wait a minute here. Hey, how about this? Hey, senorita, how in the world can the 49ers be favored over you? Don't you have a better record? Or is it maybe that people look at them now and go, that team when healthy is a better team than you? I would think so too. When the 49ers are healthy, they're a better team than you. They are. Okay? I mean, they are. 49ers issues this year has been injuries. Not the fact that they can't play and they can't beat anybody. It's been injuries that has played that factor. Oh yeah, hey, by the way, heading into tomorrow, here are the most popular NFL guys, which is usually based on, hey, Senorita, again, what big game have the 49ers won? Kicking your ass. Let's see here. From April 1 to August 1st, these are the top jerseys sold in the NFL, which basically says these are the guys that are the most popular. Number 10, Max Crosby, Raiders. Number 9, the legendary Howie Roseman. Wait, Justin Jefferson. Number 8, Josh Allen. Number 7, Xander's favorite receiver, CeeDee Lamb. Number 6, who is this guy? Amon-Ra St. Brown, Lions. Number 5, the quarterback from the Washington Redskins, Jaden Daniels. Number 4, this guy's not even playing, Aiden Hutchinson, Lions. Number 3, Patrick Mahomes, Chiefs. Number 2, Mr. Pink Fingernails, Caleb Williams. And number 1, CJ Stroud, Houston Texans. Okay, well, hook me up. Help me out here. Where's okay. Where's Jalen Hurts? What's Jalen Hurts? What's Jalen Hurts? But okay. What's well, all right. We're gonna reset here in a second. Okay. We brought a great topic up, and those guys, kind of hard to talk to them about it, but we'll do you. Howie Roseman's contract runs through the 2025 season. Next year's his last year under contract. And let me look this up right now. Highest paid general manager in the NFL. Highest paid general managers. Highest paid general managers in the NFL. Here it is. Let's do 2024. Excuse me. Hang on for a second. 2024. Okay. Highest paid. Here we go. Right now, Andy Reid is a little bit different because of highest paid. Here we go. Okay. Brad Holmes is up there right now. The general manager of the Detroit Lions. He's up there at $10 million. Brett Veach is at 6.5. Okay. Howie Roseman, if he were to go on the open market, would command, in my opinion, $15 million. He'd be the highest paid general manager maybe in pro sports. Would you, if you were him, if you win a Super Bowl? If you win a Super Bowl, okay, if you win a Super Bowl this year, say the Eagles win, say they get to it, and do you go into the contract year with Jeffrey Lurie, and do you demand $15 million? I would. Hey, I love Philly too, but that doesn't mean I like Philly more than a paycheck. I don't care what you guys say. The love for a city has nothing to do with the love of a paycheck. I don't give a shit if it's on the moon. This is professional sports. Get this. You guys actually think he'll stay in Philly because he likes the city over being paid twice the amount of money? That's stupid. Nobody in their minds would do that. Coaches and GMs leave places all the time. This is professional sports. And get this. If you don't fall in love with players, you surely don't fall in love with a situation. Now, look, the owner has done one thing that gives him the leverage that potentially he could keep him. Think about this. I'm awake or you, okay? What's the one thing that Jeffrey Lurie does? Okay? That's right, Tony. No way. Money talks. But here's the one thing that the owner of the Eagles gives him. You know what that is? They give the money up front in contracts. And for Howie to deal the way he does, that owner has a lot to do with the success. Jeffrey Lurie has a lot to do with the success of Howie Roseman. Don't kid yourself. Howie couldn't do half the things he does if it wasn't for that owner giving that bag of money up front the way he does. You know how many owners do that? None. So maybe Jeffrey Lurie looks at it like this. Hey, look, I love the guy, man. Guy's my guy. But if he thinks I'm paying him $15 million, so Xander said it flat out. Get this. Xander said it flat out about Nick Sirianni. Who wouldn't hire a guy with a 42-19 record and make him the head coach of their team? Who wouldn't? Anybody in their brains would do that. Who wouldn't do this? The way that guy deals, you got two $25 million, north of $25 million. You got one at $35 million when you're talking about A.J. Brown, and you got a $50 million quarterback. Can you name me a place in the NFL today that you have a $50 million quarterback and a $35 million wide receiver and another $25 million wide receiver, and you got a $10 million running back? There's no place in the league like this. Okay? That's not the point. You know what John doesn't get here? What's the one thing the NFL owners don't want to do? They don't want to start setting precedents for pay raises when it comes to players or GMs or coaches. You don't want to start setting a bar. Most of these guys are making around between $8 and $9 million. You don't want to start pushing that number up to 15. By the way, there's so many organizations right now that are in desperate need of what? Organizational skills. Hey, do you think there's any coincidence that the majority of the places that are looking for GMs go to Pittsburgh or Philly? Right? Andrew Berry, Philly. He's in Cleveland. You got an assistant that's in an executive assistant that's in Pittsburgh. Look at the guys around the league right now. Look at Joe Douglas up in New York. Okay, I mean, what do? Do you give him a contract at the end of this year? Or do you let him go into the 25 season and you pay him at the end of the year? If you're the owner, what do you do here? Do you start a contract negotiation with him? You want Howie out of here because his picks are panning out. His picks ain't fucking panning out. Where do you see that? Let's get through a season first before you say it's a nice start. Holy shit. This guy Twiz runs half a race and calls it a victory. Hey, Q and Cooper look great. Okay, they do. Halfway through the race, kid. Halfway through the race. Halfway through the race, dude. Panning out. Jordan Davis sucks. Bryce Huff sucks. Panning out. Don't kid yourself. Nolan Smith is halfway decent. By the way, as good as you guys think Nolan Smith's playing, he ain't the 30th pick. Kid yourself. Would you rather go to a struggling franchise and make more money or continue to compete for championships with a team that doesn't need to rebuild? I think if you go to a team like Carolina and David Tepper's your guy and he's the richest owner in the league and he gives you full autonomy to run that organization and you start going in there and you start making significant hires and you start making significant moves in how you do things and you make the money, I think Howie Roseman would get more satisfaction on winning a championship in Carolina than he does in Philadelphia. Why? Because he still has the Joe Banner doll over his shoulder too, and then the Andy Reid doll that basically built the blueprint in how you do business. Howie Roseman didn't build that. Joe Banner and Andy Reid did. Don't kid yourselves. You give Howie way too much credit for your structure and your current situation. He had nothing to do with it. This guy came out of the salary cap and out of the CPA end. He didn't come out of personnel. Howie Roseman is masquerading as a personnel guy. Always remember that. Game prediction, that's tomorrow. Thanks, Sal. I'll give you that tomorrow. I mean, Howie wasn't a personnel dude. Howie came out of the bookworm section. Now he's in it. And now you guys are saying, by the way, they look good right now. I'm not saying they don't. Okay? I'm not saying, by the way, I'm not dissing on Q. And I am not on Cooper. I like the kids. They look good. But to sit here and start telling me that these guys are hitting on all cylinders here, we'll see. Remember something. You guys were 10-1 last year. You fell off the planet. Let's run the whole race. Let's run the whole race. Well, if you don't really need to be a personnel guy, if you have good coordinators that can scout well and point out players like Vic did with Q, Coop, and Bond, well, true. But you guys go through coaches like you go through toilet paper. All super chats go to the top. Please hit the like button, guys. You think they signed back Vaughn? Zach Bond's going to command. I don't think he's going to command 20 or 18, but he will command somewhere between 12 and 15 million. Here, let's do it. Do you think Howie Roseman and the Eagles will pay $12 and $15 million for Zach Bond? Do you? 12 million. Okay, Abe. Do you think they're going to sign Zach Bond for $12 million? No way. No way. No way. Absolutely no way. Abe, show me a guy they've signed. They let Reddick walk out the building. You tell me there's not a chance they signed Zach Bond. I think Vic will spend his last years in Philly. I do too. He's on record saying he wants to finish his career here. It's where it started with the Philadelphia Stars, right? That just leaves the OC. They're going to have to match whatever offer Kellen gets elsewhere. Remember something, K-Sam? You cannot offer an offensive coordinator's job to Kellen Moore if you are another team. Compensation has to come on the other side. It's called lateral moves. You can't do that without contacting the organization first and asking for a potential trade or compensation to get for him. Now, how most teams get around that, they'll make them the assistant head coach / offensive coordinator. That's a pay raise, and it's a different title. That's how some teams get around that. That's right, Yale. It's head coach or bust. So know this, Sam. You like if he does a great job being a coordinator, let's just say this: Todd Monken gets a job in Baltimore. Baltimore can't call up Howie Roseman and go, "Hey, listen, I'm gonna talk to your guy." That's called tampering. And you pay a fine for that, and you have to give draft picks up for that. So it doesn't work like that. So if Howie does leave, who's the potential GM? I think it's the kid. I think they're grooming him for that job. Okay? That would be dumb to let Bond go. Yeah, but you got to think about price tags here too. Do you know that they have a lot of money due because they've deferred a lot of this money out? You know, next year the Eagles are in line to have to pay up or restructure about $300 million. They got a lot of money they're going to have to pay up. You think they bring back Steichen when the Colts fire him? If Jalen's still your quarterback, okay? I don't believe, Paul, this is the case. Kellen Moore will end up with the Chicago Bears. They're looking for somebody like Kingsbury. Kingsbury gets that job. You want to hear something crazy? Cliff Kingsbury interviewed for the Chicago Bears OC job, and he wanted it because he wanted to work with Caleb. They said no. And they just fired their guy 2 days ago. The OC that was up there. They just fired him. And they let Cliff walk out the building. Okay? I mean, I think Kingsbury would get that job in Chicago. No, I think the guy in Detroit would be more in line to get the Jags job. Because you have Trevor, you have somebody that kind of resembles a little bit of what Goff does. It would be something like it. This is how I think it would look. I think I think that kid Johnson, the OC up in Detroit, would probably be in line for that Jags job, or maybe the New Orleans job, because they got a lot of money. The Benson family could be the Jets too, with Woody. Woody would pay that $15 million to get him over there. So remember, I think the Raider job also is going to be open. I think they're going to fire Antonio Pierce. So you got to look at places with drop-back quarterbacks, because that's kind of what the offensive coordinator in Detroit is. He's more that. Kellen Moore would be in line for one of those jobs after Johnson would be the first pick. And then you would probably go down to Kellen. I think Kellen would probably be like the fourth option for teams that have drop-back quarterbacks. Like, I mean, depending on what happens in San Francisco this year too. I mean, how many years are the 49ers going to stay with Kyle Shanahan out there if they don't win? If they don't win this year, I mean, what are we looking at here with Kyle Shanahan? Does Kyle Shanahan even want to stay? Now, he has a lot of autonomy in that building with John Lynch. You watching Tyson's and John Jones this weekend? I am. Of course I'm watching that. Roy Jones is a great friend of mine. Hey, who in here believes that Roy Jones is a friend of mine? A dear friend of mine. Like a close friend of mine. Do you even know who and not John Jones, Roy Jones. Roy Jones is a dear friend. Tyson fought him last. And he fought Roy Jones. Roy Jones is one of my close friends. I know Chandler Jones. That's John Jones's brother. Roy Jones Jr. is a dear friend of mine. Let me show you this here. This is really cool. One of the greatest fighters of all time. I love Roy Jones. He's a Pensacola kid. And we were friends. Check this out. So here's Big Sills and Roy Jones shooting a U. I said, Roy, give me a U, will you please? Got to get the U up there, man. There you go. Roy Jones and Big Sills. Love Roy Jones. One of the greatest fighters of all times. I know Chandler Jones is a little crazy. Absolutely. Absolutely is. So if the Bills, depending on what the Bills do in the postseason, that could definitely be something to keep an eye on, Kyle. Sean McDermott. I think Sean McDermott's the wrong coach up there. He's really done a nice job this year, though. I have to be fair to it. Still, if the Bills head coach gets fired, that's going to be the most sought-after job. Yeah, because of the quarterback. Yeah, absolutely. Gangster shit. Sal, would you like to hear Roy Jones on the show one time? I love Roy Jones. Me and Roy, every time we used to go to Vegas together, when he was either commentating for HBO or when he was fighting, we would hang out all the time. Roy Jones is one of the greatest middleweights and welterweights of all time. Mayweather, Roy Jones. What do you got there, Xander? Whew. Roy Jones won a heavyweight championship as a middleweight. Mayweather's undefeated, though. He's just a tremendous. Sills looks like he did it all for the nookie in that phone. Yeah. Who do you think I'm, Diddy? So, right? Who do you think I'm, Diddy? Love Roy Jones. Roy Jones is great. Sills, Willard is playing tomorrow. That's crazy great. Great news. They're going to be completely healthy heading into that Washington game. Yeah, Roy, he's a Gator fan, though. So I kind of sometimes have to temper myself with Roy, because he's a Pensacola kid. So he was from the same area of not the same high school as Derek Brooks. And so he grew up a Gator fan, and so I give him shit about it. But I think he went, he may have went to the same high school Pensacola, no. Well, he may have went to Emmett went to Escambia. He's up in that neck of the woods too, in the Panhandle. There's Sue. She won't wear She won't wear red bottoms. Get this, man. Sue won't wear red bottoms for me. I'm talking shoes too. I'm Louis Vuittons. She won't wear them. Will not wear red bottoms. Okay. Oh man. Nobody could take on Roy Jones in his prime. Roy was fantastic. Hey, by the way, I love Bernard Hopkins too. Bernard's a friend. I used to do all those fights, man. Like when George Foreman and all them guys, I used to go to Vegas all the time. They would fly me and my show out for Golden Boy and for Top Rank. And Top Rank used to fly us all out. Well, MMA has destroyed boxing. And we used to have a Radio Row. And I used to go every year. And I'd probably go to 2, 3, 4 fights. I've seen Mayweather fight 4 times. I've seen Roy Jones probably fight 5 or 6 times. Foreman, I was there the night, November 5th, 30 years ago, when he knocked out Michael Moore. I was sitting ringside when that happened. I was there for Tyson McNeely. I was there for Tyson Holyfield. I was there for Lennox Lewis. Man, I've seen a ton of fights. Ton of fights. I was there when, what's his name? When Cotto fought, I think Mayweather. I was there when Oscar De La Hoya got annihilated. I can't remember by who. I think it was Hopkins annihilated him. I think it was Bernard Hopkins. I think D-Hop. Man, he was so fun to talk to. I loved Bernard Hopkins. He destroyed Oscar De La Hoya. I'm sitting about 5 rows back, and he hit him with a body punch and knocked him out with a body punch. Bam. You heard the air come out of him. You're sitting there ringside and you're watching this, and he's like, that guy was incredible, man. Just a great fighter. I was there for the Gotti Ward fight. No, Gotti Ward 2. Not 1, but 2 I was there for. Yeah, I was there for those fights. Okay. Yeah. So, Hey, by the way, hit the like button here. Okay. So do you guys follow what I'm saying here about Jalen and why I think, hey, this is why I think, look at the coaching that Jaden Daniels is getting in Washington, and look at the coaching that Jalen Hurts is getting in Philadelphia. You don't have too many voices in Washington. I think you have too many voices in Jalen's ear. You think Zach Ertz gets into the end zone. The red zone offense isn't that hot. Washington's kind of struggle down there. They kind of struggle when they get down there. I think getting that running back is going to help them. Okay, Taylor, I think you're right. I mean, he did drop him with a body punch, knocked him right down on the ground. That was the end of the fight. Hit him in the liver. Bernard said he gave him a liver punch, knocked him out with a liver punch. I've never seen anybody knocked out with a liver punch except for that night when Bernard Hopkins knocked out De La Hoya right in the freaking gut, man. I mean, crazy. It's great. I thought it was the only half a season so far. Talk out of both sides of your mouth. Take a knee and eat a dick. I'm kidding with you, Twiz. Sills, Vic was talking about Jim Mora. You know anything about him? Jim Mora was the coach of the Philadelphia Stars, and he won those championships. Jim Mora Jr. is the head coach of UConn right now, and he was the coach of UCLA. Twiz, I'm kidding you, man. And Jim was a great coach at the USFL, the original USFL. Then he got the job with the New Orleans Saints. I played against Jim Mora's Saints, and I don't know. Let me see this. That 1987 Saints team and that coaching staff. 1980s. If Vic was on that staff, 1987 New Orleans, they had great linebackers. They had Vaughn Johnson, Pat Swelling, Ricky Jackson. They were really great. And if Vic was the coach of that unit, man, that was a great coaching staff that Jim Mora had put together. And majority of those guys were, get this. The 1987 New Orleans Saints defensive coordinator, Steve Sidwell, and the linebacker coach was Vic Fangio. Dom Capers coached the defensive backs on that team. Dom is a legendary coach in the NFL. And he was on that staff. Vic Fangio was on that staff in 1987, and he was the linebacker coach. Wow. Yeah, and here right here. Head coach Jim Mora, Carl Smith was the offensive coordinator. Defensive coaches, Vic Fangio, Dom Capers were the position coaches. And his linebackers, wow. His linebackers were Vic Fangio's linebackers that year on that Saints. Oh, that's the replacements. That doesn't count. This one here. Here we go, linebackers. Well, that's right. He coached on that. He had to coach that. Here's the linebackers. Ricky Jackson, Hall of Fame. Vaughn Johnson, Pro Bowl. Sam Mills, Hall of Famer. Pat Swilling, NFL player. I think Pat Swilling was the NFL player of the year under Vic Fangio. Let's see. Yeah. Vic coached the defensive player of the year. I mean, this dude knows linebackers, man. Make no mistake about that. Wow. Dude, so think about that. He coached 2 Hall of Famers with the Saints, and Ricky Jackson and Sam Mills. That's pretty impressive. Absolutely. And Pat Swilling, I've told you guys who he was. Reserves, too. And he was and hey, this guy, Joe Colbrand, was a heck of a player. Alvin Tools was a good player. Every single one of these linebackers that Vic coached in that 87 team, Ricky Jackson, Vaughn Johnson, Joe Colbrand, Sam Mills, Pat Swilling, Alvin Tools, those guys were good. That was a really great. And the defensive line, they had Bruce Clark, former Penn State kid, Tony Elliott, who was also very good. They had Jumpy Gathers on that team. That was a good defense. Pat Swoops was on that team. That was really a good team. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they won the NFC West that year. And that's back in the day when they had the 49ers hitting on all cylinders. You think the Steelers are better than the Ravens? No. No. They might be defensively. Ravens offense is better. Steelers defense. Coaching is probably a push. As a matter of fact, think about that. Ravens and Steelers. I think head-to-head. Like, what's the head-to-head record between John Harbaugh and Mike Tomlin? Those guys have been playing and coaching great games. Tomlin is 20-15 against John Harbaugh. They played 35 times against one another. Tomlin and Harbaugh have coached against each other in the second most times of any pair of coaches in NFL history. George Halas and Curly Lambeau hold a record at 49 times. Those guys have done it 35 times. 2 Hall of Fame coaches. Okay? 2 phenomenal Hall of Fame coaches when you're looking at both those men. Absolutely. Sam Mills has a statue in Charlotte. Sam Mills was a great football player. And here's the story. My cousin played, Dave Pizzulli. He played in Cleveland, backed up Bob Gullick. Sam Mills was on the team, and they had signed him as a free agent. And Marty Schottenheimer and all these guys, they were like this. This guy's incredible. What a hitting machine. But Sam Mills is like 5'9". I mean, he's like 5'9". And they didn't keep him. The only reason they didn't keep him is because of his height. But he was a hitting machine. He was a hitting machine with the USFL. So finally, he gets an opportunity in New Orleans because of who? Jim Mora. Coached him with the Philadelphia Stars. And Vic Fangio coached him. So you get this 5'9" guy in there, and he must have been cut a bunch. He was cut like 5 or 6 times. Okay? He was cut 5 or 6 times. Then he went from New Orleans to Carolina. He was such a great player, man. Sam could play. And when you saw him on the field, he was the shortest guy on the field, man. That dude was a great football player. It's absolutely insane how great he was. Seals keeps making the same stupid assertions about when quality wins. We don't make the schedule. That's the dumber one. We don't make the schedules. That's not what I'm saying. You don't make the schedules. What does that have to do with who you played? We don't make the schedules. What does that have to do with reality? That is the dumbest comments that you make. Well, we play was on our schedule. No shit. So if you have shitty teams on your schedule, you have a shitty schedule. What argument are you trying to make? Still keeps bringing up the stupid assertion of quality wins. Okay. Well, if you don't have a quality schedule, you don't have a quality schedule. Same as Washington. What are you trying to make? Who you play, who's next, good or bad teams? Dude, are you trying to tell me if you are the Kansas City Chiefs or you're a team that has to play the Ravens, the Steelers, the Texans, then you turn around and play the 49ers and you play the Giants, the Jets, the Cowboys, you're trying to tell me you have the same quality amount of wins as a team like that? That's a freaking stupid argument. It's stupid. We play with Jose. Well, you can have a shitty schedule. I mean, face the reality. You've played 5 shitty teams. Okay. Is that downplaying it? No, I'm talking reality here. Because it's keep that same energy for, what are you talking about, dog? So wait a minute here. Look, Kansas City's got to play Buffalo this week. Okay? Those two teams have to play against one another. That's a big-time game. Washington versus the Philadelphia Eagles. That's a big-time game. Why? Well, the records. And then you look at it like this. Okay? If one of those teams blows out the other team, say Washington blows out Philly, beats them by 10, or vice versa, you're going to question more about who Washington's played and beaten. And then you know what you're going to do with Philly? You're going to do this. Doesn't matter who's on their schedule. They're just rolling through teams. They're just rolling through teams. Sam Mills had energy when he hit somebody. I think it was always about his leverage because he was so short and how good he was. I mean, he's a great player. Sills, who will have more yards, Jaden or Hurts? Jaden Daniels will. He's asked to do more. All I got to do is turn around and hand it to Barkley. Like I told Xander the other day, Barkley's a catalyst on that team. Quarterback's getting better. You know, he's learning and he's developing. We're about to smack the Commanders. Oh, man, I can't wait for that. By the way, we shall see. We shall see. I was born in 93, and I've never heard of Sam Mills. That's all right, Daniel. Sam Mills, a Hall of Fame player, just a really great, that's all you need to know. Just a truly tremendous Hall of Fame football player. Really a great player. All right. Tomorrow is going to be game day. Thursday night football. And by the way, I hate Thursday night football. And this could be a crow day tomorrow for Big Sills. It could be a crow day. I've dubbed it a crow day. Okay? I have. Xander, what do we got coming up again here? Pat Callahan show's coming up here. Make sure you guys check it out. Sal Palantonio is going to be on that show too. So make sure you guys stick around for Pat and all the great guests that he has on the program. Do me a favor, hit the like button. Guys, you've been absolutely great. I can't thank you enough for all you do. Xander, Big Joe, thank you very much. 2 to 6 tomorrow. Tomorrow's game day. We'll see you on the flip side.